double check that I am live here. Okay. 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 Let's see here. Pull up draft. Get this all sorted out. All right, notification is live. Let them know, and we are in draft. So let me catch up here and kind of dissect what we missed round one here. A little bit of background between these two teams. Both playoff teams last split, so expecting, maybe a bit of a showdown. Coinflip coming off a very dominant victory against Capachungus. Very much expected dominant victory, though. So I think maybe facing a little bit more of a challenge, at least on paper here, against Vancouver Impact Challengers, who lost 2-1 in week one, falling to Insane Banana Posse. But Group A has been very interesting to kind of follow, at least in this first week here. Two series going 3 games. So I think that group is shaping up to have a lot of competitive parity and expecting to see some of that on display here with just these two teams. Obviously, we'll see how that ends up playing out. But for now, taking a look at draft, we have Pantheon first pick from the side of Vancouver Impact. I think that's just a solid first pick. Really can't go wrong with it. It's a bit of a flex, but usually taken in the jungle. Great skirmishing potential. With the global ultimate, the Grand Starfall, you're always going to have some sort of impact. Point and click stun is always going to provide some great utility. But really just picking that for the early game skirmishing. With the high base damages, just one of the strongest fighting junglers in the game. Going to be answered. Brandino going to lock in the Xin Zhao. That's something that'll be able to fight back, so expect maybe some explosive skirmishes stemmed around the jungle here. Pairing that up with Hui and Aurora on both sides respectively for mid jungle, especially with the Aurora looking to be a lot of skirmishing, and then the Hui maybe a bit more range, a bit more standard comp. I believe Aristotle's the mid lane this split, sort of have a little more flexibility in terms of kiting stuff out. Okay, no, excuse me. Things are switched around there a bit. Looks like we have Brandino in the top lane. Renowned Shen player as well, so makes that R5 pick kind of explain itself. Aristotle in the jungle, Krieger mid, Bori Geopro to round it out. So we'll let them mimic that draft and kind of see how it plays out. But Aurora Ash taken for the side of VIP. No issues with those two champs. I think if you're comfortable with the Aurora into the Hui, might as well go for it. And then Ashe, just a very safe long-range AD carry. We see Talia, Vi, and Nautilus Band. I want to point that out. That does kind of let you... It tips your cap to maybe playing this immobile AD carry, because playing Ashe into the likes of those three champions just does not sound like a good time. So maybe that's something Vancouver Impact had in mind going into the draft phase. And on the flip side, Varus to round out our 3 for Coinflip here. Just more range. I think it'd be fun to see how this Hui and Varus pair up together, as you will be able to use quite a bit of spacing in theory. Whether that's poke, whether that's team fighting to help garner an advantage. And both should be relatively strong in lane as well. See more bands come through to round things out. It was Leona Karma band, so 3 support bands total out of Vancouver Impact. Gonna put GeoPro on the Nami. Bit of an interesting pick there. I think they kind of knew they were going for something tankier, is the thinking I'm garnering there. So throw an enchanter that can kind of provide some utility from the back line. Nami's one of the more blindable enchanters, in my opinion, because you can kind of play the engaged style. It leaves you open to a little more different types of teams. So I think that's kind of why we're seeing that. And then answered with Maokai and Cassante, so a very tanky squad out of Vancouver Impact. I'm actually a little bit nervous about maybe some low damage coming from their side. You know, Maokai support is going to be a very good frontline character, help keep things safe, but I am a bit nervous in that lane as well. It's not a great lane for Vancouver Impact. You're giving Nami really a free lane there. I generally like playing Engage into the Nami, as it does make it tough to just step up, get that free W, poke, and harass, but Koros and Marshall gonna opt for something that maybe scales a little better in looking for the fights in the mid to late game, especially around, you know, things like the dragon, as that will be a big part of this game. So Maokai and Cassante giving themselves a very strong front line, but now you look at their damage, it's really just maybe the Pantheon and the Aurora. I don't like Ashe as a primary damage source. I feel like you need to bolster it with some sort of carry top to help bring in more damage. And then Aurora is not going to be pumping out consistent damage either. She plays a lot more like an assassin, so you know, maybe they can burst one target, but this Shen on R5, who's really killing it? I mean, not the tankiest of tanks here, but just based off the setup, there's not a loads of consistent damage coming on through, and then when you add in the Nami and the rest of the chaos of these fights, I'm really favoring Coinflip's draft just because of how much easier access to damage they have. The one caveat I'll give there is with Vancouver Impact's draft, you are setting yourself up well in terms of some objective control. The Maokai support, I'm going to have my eyes on what Marshall decides to go first item here. Typically, Maokai in the jungle, you go Leandries first to have that bush control, throwing the saplings in there and letting you kind of have your way around objectives, providing vision, providing some poke, and making it tougher to walk in. But with support and not necessarily the same income, a lot of support Maokais go for more of those tanky, warden, protective items. So things like Locket, Redemption, Knight's Vow. And so we'll see the direction they decide to take there, because that's really the only way you're going to be able to fight back into a Varus Hui poke setup. I'd expect this Varus to go lethality. I think you're going to be wanting to play range. I don't think on hit is a mistake by any means, because you are dealing into, you know, 2.5 tanks with the Pantheon, Maokai, Cassante. But lethality just lets you play your range, especially with the Hui. Play this long style game that you should be able to navigate because you have an enchanter on your side to help heal you up, and so much space just between your Xin Zhao and Shen, who can keep Vancouver, in theory, at bay. But that's all more later on. So we will see how things go once we jump in. My eyes are going to be on both junglers here, Pixel and Brandino. What can they get done in this early game? These lanes should be relatively stable. Xante and Shen especially, kind of a handshake tank matchup. In the mid lane, Aurora may be having a little more pressure on Hui in terms of kill pressure, but I'd expect Hui to maybe navigate that and get the push. And then in the bot lane, Varus and Nami should have the push early, just double range into one range, one melee. And so with that, jugglers will kind of have their pick of where to go. A lot of good gank setup on every side as well. So expecting a lot of skirmishing around Pixel and I believe it's Aristotle on the Xin Zhao this game. And we'll see how they end up kind of navigating that to give their teams lead, because they did pick these junglers early. I'm expecting some fighting. We know Coinflip loves to scrap. Vancouver Impact, I think, willing to step up and take that challenge as well, just because of the draft they kind of the team comp they drafted for themselves in response, especially early. So, a few more seconds on spectator delay, and then we will get into it. I appreciate the love, Soup. Arguably my favorite chatter. Don't tell anyone else I said that, though. There's like a 1 in 6 chance that I'm pissing people off, so I think there's only maybe only 1 or 2 people would get annoyed by that. And we got a smaller crowd tonight. I know we have tons of games going on, so happy I could get around to casting this one at the very least. 4 games is wild. CLT covering the other one. I'm not sure when that one wraps up, but happy to be here for this Coinflip one. This was the game I kind of had my eye on for Group A. Pretty excited to see it. And we are live. Yeah, Ninja Turds have a bye week this week as well, so happy to jump in. I was just going to ask about the Tomper. This is GLHF stuff. We need the Coinflip Moss Tomper All Chat Special. Standard 5 out of both teams. Standard summoners, runes out of both teams, no surprise there. Am going to point out the lethal tempo for Bore. May have to check me on that one. Figure that out before game 2. So we'll be on hit Varus. Koros may be a bit caught out here, but with no crowd control ability on the side of Coinflip, he's going to be able to walk that one out. So we'll be on hit Varus, going for that attack speed, Nasher style. Bori. Okay. Thank you, Sebi. Appreciate it. Gotta know how to gas this guy up, because when you are going lethal tempo, you do get the chance for those crazy kiting out plays. Make sure I'm screaming his name appropriately. Early boards should give an idea of where Pixel is starting for the side of Coinflip. At Raptors ward. Always a great ward. Early game for any team. A little bit disappointed Vancouver didn't answer back, kind of seeing the invade come through from Coinflip. Because both of these junglers are probably going to be full clearing, and we talked about how this game is going to revolve a lot around how the junglers clear and end up ganking and getting their teams involved. And so Xin Zhao is going to be maybe a little more hidden in terms of his clear, but expect both these junglers to converge as well. We also see some great early game trading out of Coinflip. Talked about this double range. It's really tough for Marshall to ever walk up. He's going to be relatively safe on the Maokai though. And the slow's coming down on GeoPro. He's going to get rooted, but flashes back under the tower, forces Marshall to take some damage. Ori trading back, but only level 1 on the Varus. Not going to be able to take him down with enough damage. And Koros trading back nicely as well. So Koros and Marshall, they do get the push. But Marshall falling dangerously low. GeoProw warning both sums to get him to that point. And do want to note, junglers pathing down, so expecting some full clear out of both these AD skirmishers. And after that, we may see some crazy action in the bottom lane. Wave continuing to be pushed for Koros and Marshall. And this Ashe is spacing pretty decently. Aggressive trading in the top lane as well. Brandino on that pocket pick Shen. Should be pretty comfortable. Up just a tad bit of CS, but nothing of any substance. And I want to pan over to the junglers, just kind of take a look at how they're matching each other. It does look like Pixel's going to make an early move for the Scuttle, skipping over his Krugs, so like that move out of him as, no, going to look for the mid lane instead, but level 3 into a level 4 Xin Zhao may mean trouble later on for a future skirmish. As Xin Zhao is going to be level 4, making his way down to the Scuttle River. Crossing mid first is Pixel showing in the mid lane, but that's all he can do. So now one camp down. Aristotle going to take the Scuttle. Looping around here. What is the call? Is it going to be mid? Is it going to be bot? It's just going to be a deep ward. Hovering mid for now. Pixel trading on the top side, but still crucially not level 4. Early game, these levels do make a big difference, and skipping that camp does kind of cost you. Pixel sitting in the Raptor pit here. May go for something a little spicy. Krieger is quite pushed up, but hovering the bot side, I think kind of knowing where the Pantheon's at. Just trying to get the wave in. Pixel keeps looking for an angle, but just can't fight it. And Aristotle recognizing, hey, this Pantheon probably skipped his Krugs based off the timing. Miko snagged that. Building a bit of an early jungle lead himself, a camp or two. And now Koros and Marshall are still a bit pushed up with this loop around from Aristotle, who is coming in. Twisted advance forward from Marshall, who's going to be forced to flash out. Aristotle comes in from behind. Bori trading back nicely onto Koros. Gets him below 100 health. That will be the end of that. So a flash forced out of Aristotle. In the meantime, though, Pixel punishing on the other side, but Marshall maybe walking a bit forward. The knockup comes through. Bubble comes through. Piercing arrow. And Aristotle with a flash out keeps himself alive and lets GeoPro secure that first blood. Aggressive overstep out of Marshall trying to cancel that recall. Doesn't really have the abilities to support that. And I'm going to call that a huge blunder. Look at these cascading effects as Koros is forced back. Losing those minions. And now Aurora's teleporting down to bot lane. So really poor sort of handle of events there from Vancouver, and a great set of events out of Coinflip. It's Pixel showing in the mid lane, level 4 on this Pantheon. Not going to be able to do too much after the stun, though, as Krieger going to flash out. So Pixel getting on the map, getting some action done. Catching back up in camps, crucially, as well. But I want to go back to that bot lane. Marshall just walking way too far forward with no flash. And as a result, hold that thought. Marco Pog jumping in, going all out onto Brandino in the top side. Goes unstoppable, trading aggressively as Ontofo strikes. Brandino dodges 1, dodges 2. Looking forward for more. Dodges 3. Taunts forward, barely misses. Marcoto falling low. Camera's taking me away. So a very explosive fight on the top lane. Doesn't really result in anything, but Cassante ult down may give Brandino a bit of an angle to try to dash in and get a kill. So a lot of action out of the teams early as expected. But yeah, I want to finish that bot lane thought before it gets too late. Brandino going in for the taunt though. Cassante goes unstoppable, is trying to kite him out. And Tofo Q3 dodge. Brandino brings the sword on back, slices in, gets hit by that, falling dangerously low. The minions are tickling him down, and in comes Pixel. That will be the end of it for that Shen. Lines up the spear, misses that one, but with the point and click stun, you can't get out of that one. And evening up the kill score, 1-1 here, evening up the gold as well. So salvaging a little bit of that bot lane play. Because Koros had to back up after all that happened, because Aristotle was sticking around, zoning him off minions. And then it felt like maybe a bit of a wasted TP out of Stunner. Really only TPing down to catch half of a wave that was remaining. But can't really criticize him too much, as he is 15 CS up on Krieger. Nearly 70 CS 7 minutes in. It's a bit of Chovy action coming out of the Vancouver Impact mid laner. Pixel still invading aggressively as well. Navigating what, was maybe not an ideal early game jungle situation quite well in this mid game. Been able to invade the top side of Aristotle and get some gold back for himself. Bori and GeoPro now reliably getting the push. Things will be a little more interesting when Maokai hits 6. You have a little more vulnerability to some all-ins. Pixel starting up the grubs as well. 8 minutes on the dot. Has the mid push out of stunner. So going to be able to pick up one and likely the others pretty safely, as Aristotle just taking the Krugs for now. Second grubs goes over. Aristotle does place the ward down though. And Marco's trading aggressively in the top side. Goes for the all out. Forces Brandino back. Little bit of movement, but still falling dangerously low. Forced to taunt out, and Aristotle comes up. But all just to safely escort his top laner out. And now going to be in trouble as Stunner is collapsing in the top lane. Krieger catching out Pixel, who falls dangerously low. Stunner trying to make the approach. Comet falls down. Pixel sidesteps away from that. So no kills on every side. But another favorable trade out of Marco Pa in this top lane. Shen was the R5 counter pick, not necessarily, you know, for lane wise, but I think just overall a comfort pick. And has been struggling in this isolated 1v1 matchup. Yes, the kill went over to Pixel's Pantheon, at 1 death at least, but every time camera pans up there, it looks like Marco Pa on that Cassante is just kind of having his way. More trading in the bot lane, and we are pretty much dead even coming up on 10 minutes in here. Exactly what I was hoping for, a little bit of parity between these two teams. Koros sidesteps forward on the bubble, trying to trade back into Bori, who's holding his own ground, but does get caught by the twisted advance, gets rooted. Root traded back onto Koros and pops him with the piercing arrow. Shen ulti popped for good measure as well, as Stunner coming down trying to secure the kill, but with the flash out, Bori's going to keep himself alive. Brandino saving the day, as the rest of the Coinflip squad is around, supporting that heroic efforts out of the bot lane 2v2. Koros stepping up aggressively. Marshall ticking over to 6, so walking up, getting the root onto Bori. Excuse me. I'll get it, Sebi. And after that root, Bori with a very good cleanse on time there. Holds his ground, sticks in there and fights. And Varus, once he gets those stacks lined up with the Blight before the piercing arrow, it is tons of damage, and Koros was the victim of that. Eats it in the face despite the enchanted crystal arrow coming through. And the Shen ult over top to keep the Varus alive through the Aurora. That does mean, though, Marco Pa trading very nicely back in terms of top lane plates. 4 plates taken now. Those 3 grubs that Pixel was able to secure earlier coming in handy. And will be something to watch as the side of Vancouver Impact, you know, likely pivots themselves towards a 1-3-1 style comp. You have this skirmishing Aurora, and then you have this top laner who's been dominating in the 1v1. So maybe looking to pull Coinflip apart. Bring them out and about through the lanes. And not let them group up and get this ideal team fight that they've drafted for themselves. So 1k gold lead off those kills, and Bori, first item is in. It is going to be the Hex Plate. This is something that's been popping up lately. I was hoping I'd be able to talk maybe a little bit about this. Experimental Hexplate used to be an item built on just 2 champions, Olaf and Nocturne. It is popping up with 80 carries more, as there is no difference between ranged and melee kind of buffs. That would be a nerf I'd expect to see in the next few patches. And so you get a lot of really good base stats with 40 AD, 20 attack speed, and then most crucially the health. Gonna keep you tanky, let you stand your ground and stack up the damage. So on characters like Vayne and Varus, who are ulting pretty frequently in fights and at the start of fights, it gives you that early buff and gives you tankiness to stack up things like Rage Blade and your on-hit passives. So we'll see where the build goes from there, as expecting, you know, maybe a Rage Blade into a Jack Show, this tankier style on-hit Varus that can hold his ground. Pixel and Aristotle trading back and forth. Little spear is taken, but Krieger is first in the area, gets the Comet onto Pixel, and down goes the Pantheon. Stunner showing up as well. Marshall coming in for the pinch, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto the Zinzao. Flash forward for Marshall, gets one kill onto Krieger, Ignite down onto Aristotle. Picks up the second along with the help of Stunner. Now Bori's getting a little bit caught out here. Chains of Corruption onto Koros. Experimental Hexblade is active now, trying to kite it back, stacking up the arrows. But the CC, no, it's not going to be enough as Stand United once again comes on through. Bori holding his ground, kiting it back, picking up one. Traded back, though, by Stunner as the fight continues. GeoPro here trying to hold his own with the heals, but once again, Koros spacing on this Ash. The slows coming on through. Bori trying to kite it, and in comes Pantheon again. The Grand Starfall flash forward. Keeps Koros alive. Best defense is a good offense as GeoPro forced to walk on out as a massive skirmish in the bot lane river. Both teams trading blow for blow there, and I think Vancouver Impact a bit too low to really take the Dragon on. What a crazy fight. I'm going to jump back. I want to take a look at that one. So early on, it was a pick onto Pixel after some skirmishing between Aristotle. The fight continues, but Krieger's first in the area, so Pixel falls first. Zinzao ult is pop, but then Marshall is first on the collapse here. Goes forward with the ulti, flashing onto Krieger, enough base damage alongside Stunner. So at this point, they already get 2 down. Bori walking in a bit overextended, but with the ulti, we touched on that tankiness of the experimental Hexplate. Kites it on back. Brandino's Shen comes on in for the shield as well. Great flash from Koros out of the taunt. And Stunner able to pick that one up as the Shen not too tanky at this point. And GeoPro continuing the fight, walking up, forced to flash out. And I think Bori, going for the fight here. But once that Pantheon ult comes in, just doesn't have a chance. Flash for good measure out of Pixel to make sure things go their way. And I'll speed us back up to live. During that whole time, Marco Pot get in the top lane. So this Cassante, 1.5k gold up individually. That is pretty much the entire lead for the Vancouver Impact squad, who took a very nice little set of fights there when you consider the numbers. Looking for a pick on Stunner, but nothing for the meantime. Dragon is still up, and Twisted Advance comes on forward. Going to be an easy punish kill onto Aristotle. As they back up, turn their eyes towards the Dragon. This time Brandino isolated in the top side, but Cassante has TP here. Not going to use it yet. Just going to recall. Maybe giving over the tower a little too easily. Are going to be able to hold it at the end of the day, though. And there we go. We're back to live. So, apologies there for the quick catch-up, but I do like seeing replays of explosive fights like that. Masters in the chat. Even you didn't know I had a game like that. It's been developing. Work on it. Teams give you good action to work with. It makes it even easier as ulti comes on through onto Stunner. Krieger looking to line it up, but it is dodged away from. Aurora pops down the ulti, and it's a solo kill for Vancouver Impact Challenger Stunner. VIPs are showing up as Marco Paul catching out Aristotle. In comes the Shen ult over top. This is a 4 versus 4 here. And this Varus is kiting out, relatively untouched from now. TP coming in from Stunner. There's chaos in this Rift Herald River now. Great route across the side of Coinflip. And in come Vancouver Impact, marching on forward. Getting the route onto Bori, who's trying to trade it back, but just doesn't have the damage to do so. And 4 kills going over to the side of Vancouver. Dominating these fights. I was questioning the damage they had, later on, but early on, doesn't matter. They're able to just blow up their opposition around this Rift Herald pit. Take another quick look here. It's Aristotle going in a bit early. Shen ult is there for follow-up, though. Pantheon able to jump onto the Zinzao. I think this Cassante is just too tanky at this point. With the full Iceborne Gauntlet, able to tank it all up. Goes unstoppable, so Bori not able to get the trade kill back. And from there, Krieger already down in the mid lane. Most of the damage on the Coinflip side is from Varus and Hui. They drafted these 2 carries, and with the Varus going Experimental Hexplate, the one kind of downside of that build and that tankiness is You don't have as much damage as you would something like a Bork early, which is what we saw old on hit Varus do. I still think it scales a lot better, and it's the build path to go right now. But in that early game, you are sacrificing a bit of damage, and we see it on display there. Despite the fact that Varus was able to hit for a while, can't actually convert it into any kills. And so Rift Herald goes over to VIP. And they got objective bounties online for Coinflip. Just 18 minutes in here. Doing very well for themselves. And gold is in the right places as well. Said this Ashe is not really going to be the primary carry in terms of damage. It's going to be much more of a group effort. So I like seeing these kills onto Stunner and Pixel. In terms of, you know, giving themselves a chance to really fight back. Alex, if you want to jump on the cast, I can just hop on disc. Up to you. I don't know what you're doing tonight. We can always run it up another time. Just let me know. Okay. Yeah, so I'll be in a Discord channel. We'll do just the Midwest server. And hopefully that works. Give us a little color commentary with another side of things. As fight breaking out though, kind of missing it here. Brandino just getting caught out on the side lane. It's going to be Raps there. Coinflip maybe trying to trade something back on the other side of the map. It's Aristotle and Krieger in the top lane, but this is a tanky Cassante. Markopa going unstoppable, going all out. Able to just kite that one out pretty easily. And so with the rest of the squad of Coinflip kind of getting collapsed on, they're going to back up. A Stunner dropping the Aurora ring. GeoPro forced to McHale's himself and flash out. Great pick play out of the Vancouver Impact mid laner. Their eyes will turn towards the dragon. Third total Drake of the game, second for VIP. They're going to look towards the Otacon potentially next. I would hold off on it for now when you have such a large lead. See teams throw the game there. Bernino walking a bit forward. Does get stunned by Pixel, but kiting it back as Aristotle jumps on in. And now the whole squad of Vancouver may be in trouble as Marshall dives into the back line, creates chaos, cancels Brandino's ulti. So Aristotle gets caught out a build deep, and Marco and Pixel flashing on forward. The chase is giving. Koros onto GeoPro, no flash from earlier. So 2 more kills onto the support jungle of Coinflip. And now turning their eyes towards the Otacon. After those picks, very reliable, scaring off the rest of Coinflip as well. Varus just ticking over to the Hex plate right now.
Hello.
And Otacon goes over. Howdy.
Hi, how does it sound?
Pretty good. I don't know, I'll probably up you volume-wise because I don't really know what my settings are at, and I'm going to stream it up real quick. That way you can watch it.
Sounds good.
Via disc. And
Let's take a look-see look. You were really good at I liked it. I didn't know you had game like that.
Thank you. We've had been practicing a little bit between some Rec League casts and some casts last split, and so it worked out well. But this one's looking maybe a bit cooked for the side of Coinflip.
I mean, 8K different, 6K difference right now.
Aristotle jumping on in as Pixel goes for the stun to trade. Is caught out by the roots though, so maybe a little bit gold back from Coinflip, and exactly where you want it. Bori picking up his 4th and a massive shutdown onto the Pantheon.
I mean, it's a decent pick. It definitely helps slow down the siege a little bit. It is still a little tough because their side lanes just seem so weak right now. Like, realistically...
Yeah, we can kind of see it on display here as Aristotle 3 levels down into this side laner of the Aurora, who pops the ulti, trying to line up the Q. Aristotle going back in for a little bit of health trade back, but it's going to be an easy solo kill for Stunner. picking up his 5th of the game. And now with Ashe rotating over, that's going to be an easy top lane tower as well. Exactly what you were saying, that side lane.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you let Aurora get this far ahead, it's kind of really hard when your Aurora is 1v1ing enemies in Zhao, the game's kind of cooked.
Yep.
Especially when the Zhao manages to get on top of you like that. I think, realistically, if you're looking at red teams, chances to kind of make their way back into the game, it's going to have to come in the form of a pick, probably from Varus ulti, like layer that on top with Hui ults. I mean, I can't really see much else besides that. I mean, the team fighting's just worse. They have slightly worse front line. I mean, Cassante is just Cassante, you know, so it is what it is. But,
yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think you
hopefully,
maybe have an okay team fight chance later
hopefully,
on.
what would be nice to see is maybe see red team overload, either bot or mid here, just to try and get some kind of vision to look for a pick before objective. But it's also really hard to do that because you're giving up so much pressure in the side lane. I mean, you can see that Aurora is just relentless in the top lane.
Yep, they picked up, I think you jumped in chat a little too late, but they did pick up 3 grubs early. And that was something I had in mind, was Cassante was already winning side lane, and then you're going to have Aurora in the side game late, and it's on full display here. So much side lane pressure. Level 15 on the Aurora. GeoPro getting a little bit caught out as Root comes on through. Aurora all over the top. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does land onto Bori, who doesn't have Cleanse, so is going to be chased down here. 2 kills going over Vancouver Impact. Now Brandino caught out in the midst of it all, trying to run out, but Koros giving chase is going to be able to layer on the slows, and the rest of Vancouver Impact there to follow. Brandino with a taunt, though. Looks like not quite able to make it out. And Vancouver Impact turning their eyes towards that tower. Another objective falling their way.
Yeah, that's incredibly unfortunate. Aurora bursting you through Shen Shield.
Stun on a Krieger as well. Just another pop.
I think. Yeah, actually, I don't think. I mean, he got the wave. That's good. I don't think I can end on this push, but definitely, I think here you could even just leave the inhib. I mean, getting it's good too. Get inhib, pull back for Drake, reset. You want to play around Baron, you could. And it just should be a simple closeout from there.
I'm with you. See if Aristotle has anything to say about it. I think this is a bit of a Hail Mary. Just trying to get something back before they can reset and spend more gold. Chains of Corruption falling short as Marshall trying to dance his way on out. Does dodge the spear, but Bori with that movement speed boost going to be able to pick that one up. But is going to be in trouble afterwards here as Koros and Stunner laying in the damage to him. Stunner flashes into the wave, but with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow snipe, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, that might have looked bad, but honestly, that was actually a good call from Red Team to try just delay backs and maybe get a pick on the way out. I mean, there's not much else you can really do from there when you're 11k goal behind. I did like the call, but yeah, I guess, as they say in the LCK, you know, their wallets are just a little too heavy at this point.
Yep. I think just throw the Hail Mary. Expecting this one to kind of end within another fight or two. All but a formality. Yeah. Two teams
I mean, if
playing.
Blue Team wants to take it real slow, they could just go for Baron, set it up, back, and then just play the 4-1 split. But yeah. I don't think they. I think what's going to end up happening here is Red Team's probably going to try face check. One of them's going to die. They're going to get. Oh.
Is that the Prophet? Krieger face checking. Doesn't quite die, though. Is able to walk out of that one. Decent damage traded back. Aristotle's going to jump in and force a flash out of Pixel. So a little something back for Coinflip. Trying to keep themselves in it as this Baron spawns up. Don't want to give that one over for free here.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're an army here, do you not just instantly back and try and get wards again? I mean, I guess TP picked out mid. That's just...
Ulti on Brandino. Great snipe out of Koros. That Shen is going to fall down for death number 6, and then Ping's coming onto the Baron here.
Yeah, you have to imagine Baron's lost at this point, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. Pixel going in with the ulti. That was a blind ulti, so maybe just looking to catch someone slacking there in the bush. And now eyes turning towards the Baron.
Maybe he gets a cheeky steal.
Yeah, don't want to flip this. Marshall getting a bit caught out. Stunner going over the wall. Pops Bori. And GeoPro, Mikhail's on himself, not going to be enough. His Koros flashing over the wall, too. An absolute wipe for the side of Vancouver. Aristotle gets one back. But in this 1 versus 4, can't imagine he can do anything. Trying to make his way over the wall. Spear comes on through, but ultied on out from Marco. And that will be 4 kills for Vancouver Impact. Delayed ace as Shen just spawning. But more importantly, the Baron as they look to close this one out.
You know what? I respect the hell out of that Ash. Flashing over at that point at the Baron, just 1v1ing the Zinzao at that point. I think, you know what? Might as well. I mean, what's the harm, you know? I think they played that Baron fight really well. They managed to hold the HP, didn't let it get within 50-50 range, and then just Cassante did Cassante things, and that was all but secure at this point. I think, yeah, just run it down mid and end the game.
100%. Using those tools well, forcing the Zinzao to jump over in an uncomfortable spot, and then the Cassante really securing it. A stun going in on Bori as Marshall dashing on forward. Bori gonna be a bit caught out here. Tries to flash out, building a little bit of space. Is kiting it back, stays alive for now. But Brandino already falling. Now with Koros marching down, the 80 carry of Vancouver. This may be the push.
Yeah, I mean, they still have Hui kind of hoping he can maybe just clear waves, just barely fast enough that they can slow down the take.
Donner looking for an angle here. Aristotle just getting popped, and in comes the Aurora ult. Nami ult forced out to kite him back. Pixel going on forward, forces the flash out of Krieger. Bori's trying to kite it out, but it's just too much of a wallet diff here. Almost a 15k cold lead as Vancouver Impact Challengers close out the game 1, 30 to 8 kills, sub 30 minutes.
And he's pinging his 300.
I hope it wasn't that way the whole game. I mean, he wasn't playing like it.
I think it was the spike. Is this game 1?
This is game 1.
Right?
So that is game 1. Going over Vancouver Impact, who I think were maybe a bit more of the underdogs in this match, if I were to assign it to something. These were 2 playoff teams last split, and then Coinflip was the team who rolled us with Ivern top.
Okay. Those guys. Nothing but bad things to say. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But not. I mean, how did the game go? I kind of caught the stream around the point where there was that crazy fight you rewinded that I thought looked really good. Skirmishing side for blue that entire time, but how did the early game go?
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly pretty even up to, I'd say, about 10 minutes, where, you know, Coinflip was trading some blows back. Aristotle on the Zinzao was getting some stuff done. The lanes were stable. I'd say that river fight really broke things open and got the ball rolling.
I mean, that looked really good for blue from what I was seeing, even before they got the exit kill on, I think, Nami it was, because they had the whole time. Shen came in, Shen died, from what I saw, and Cassante could just kind of stay top, soak up XP, soak up gold, get ahead, and that there's nothing worse than being a top lane and TPing away to help your team and then dying and enemy top just gets to take everything. So
Yep, that was pretty much it. Cassante got snowballed off that. The Aurora Pantheon, I think, were the 2 crucial benefactors of that play.
Oh yeah,
as gold on those 2 snowbally characters.
Yeah, from watching about half the game, I'd probably have to give MVP to that Aurora, mainly because it looked cool when she hit ulti and half health the enemy team.
You're just throwing down the gauntlet there.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's just really tough, especially if you're, I mean, I play mid, so that's the only way I can look at it for Hui, is that when you're behind on items on Hui, he feels really bad. Like, he can still play team fights really well, but when they have a lot of frontline like that, and it's really hard for you to get your ulti on anything that isn't a Cassante, yeah, it's just you don't really have enough damage to threaten a tank, and you don't have enough damage to, like, 80% backliner, so at that point it just feels impossible.
Yep, and that will be game 1. Coinflip taking red side again for game 2. So we'll see the adjustments that are made.
What are the team comps, or what do these teams favor in terms of what champions they like to pick and how they like to play, do you think, from what you've seen?
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with Vancouver Impact, but Coinflip just skirmishes like crazy. That's kind of the gist of most of their drafts and most of their style. They love to fight. hence the
Okay,
name
nice.
Coinflip. That's kind of where that comes from. I know they're missing their main top laner right now, so a
Okay.
few things switched around. I don't know if that Ivern top is going to necessarily come on through, but
I mean, that would be great. You know,
it would be. Let's see
down,
if Brandino's
you
got
know,
that in his
down
pocket.
down one game. I think it's time to pull out the Ivan top.
Maybe. There's definitely some spice that I could see coming out of these teams. Uh, and then outside of Vancouver Impact, I'm trying to pull up their OPGGs now, just out of curiosity. Uh, I know
Yeah,
they were a
because I'm
playoff team
curious
last
if
split. I think they're just well-rounded.
Coinflip, yeah, if Coinflip's a big fan of scrapping it early, I think I don't know what their mid lane plays, but I think maybe trying something. I mean, like Hui's good early, but in terms of like skirmishes around mid lane, especially 2v2, you generally don't want to play for an immobile mage unless it's something like an Ari pre-6. Uh, Even then, Ari pre-6 isn't that great to skirmish around mid for. So I mean, I have no idea what their mid plays though. So I mean, probably have to see.
Yeah, I think it's mostly control mages for Krieger, who is the
Okay, that's
substitute
my
mid
man.
laner, to be fair.
That's my good. Oh, they're subbing mid as well.
I think they switched around positions. Basically, bumped. Aristotle plays mid, Brandino plays jungle, and so bumped everyone
Hmm.
up one, and then brought in
Oh,
Krieger for
okay.
mid. So that's the call there, and how they're kind of
Hmm.
playing that one out. I sent you
They're in
the
draft.
draft link.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see it.
so we're jumping in. Brom, Shaco, Ban. Bit curious about that one. And then Ambessa, Nautilus, Talia Ban, Vancouver Impact, keeping the same bands. Coinflip getting rid of the
Okay.
Braum maybe tells me they're looking for something engage for GeoPro. I know that's something the Coinflip support tends to play.
Yeah. What do you think Coinflip's ever scared of anything like a poppy into engage or?
I would be. I mean, that's always something to consider, loosely
Mm.
have in the back of your mind. Uh, I don't really know. Like I said, I don't too much know the champ pool. Marshall is master tier support for the side of Vancouver. Does play Braum, does play Shaco, so I guess that's where
Okay.
that's coming from. Getting rid of
Okay.
those. But it
I mean,
will
okay,
be.
then that's kind of sad, no? I mean, release the Shaco support, let the
That's what
man
I'm
play it.
saying. I want to see it, but
Yeah.
I get it. I wouldn't want to play against. If you played against Shaco support, that thing is
No, I've never
it's a
played. I
lovely
mean, I
time.
can imagine it sounds horrible, but like, surely it's decent to lane into, or is he just that annoying?
It's yeah, you're gonna be okay in lane. It's just purely annoying because it's AP Shaco is usually the move, and then you're just dealing with
Ah,
boxes for the whole game.
yeah, no, Pink Ward ruined the game for everyone.
He really did, bro. He really did. Wukong
Morgana.
first pick, Morgana. I'm
Just
expecting that to be
Morgana
a
mid
Morgana mid. I've been.
or
Have you
junk?
been on this tech at all lately?
No, I haven't. I haven't even seen this recently. Is
Really?
this a thing that's been happening mid lane?
It's kind of popping up. I may have to bug you about getting at least a game in because I don't think you need too many to really learn the
Morgana
champ.
mid. Yeah,
Um,
no, I'd rather kiss the pavement at 200 miles per hour.
there you go. No, they've been
Mhm.
buffing it, I guess, like crazy for the past few patches. And so at level 5, your W can just full clear the wave. So you just play, it's that
Like without,
uninteractive lane style. And then, with
uh,
the power of the root and the base damage, it's a really strong pick that
yeah,
I'm
no, that
starting to
sounds
see
super
pop up.
fun though. I love not playing lane. That's I honestly lane's my least favorite part of the game. Yeah.
Yep, you just get to handshake it,
Yeah.
and the spell shield is always going to be nice. So more
Yeah.
Leona, going to be a little more fighting based out of Coinflip again. And then the bot lane of Melio and Lucian to answer. Big fan of that out of Vancouver Impact because Melio into Leona, you may not think it's ideal, but if you can get the sort of kickback onto the Leona on her initial engage, she's going to be a sit and duck, and then that's just a great bot lane combo, Melio Lucian. Should be
Yeah.
favored into this Leona Smolder that was just locked.
So I'm hoping or I'm thinking that Coinflip is definitely probably going to be looking for some extra damage in their jungle top. I can't imagine them playing a tank and then some kind of like bruiser with Morgana Smolder, unless they want to just play for like 30 minutes. I mean, unless, if you got a decent Smolder, unlike some of the Smolders in my games, where they can actually hit their stacks by 22 minutes.
Is that a stray at Tango Fish?
No, my goat can hit his stacks pre 30 for sure.
Free 30, yeah. He'll get
Yeah.
there. Flapping into the enemy team.
Hey, you are disrespecting second team All Pro ADC right now.
I really am. He's not listening anyway. He in the middle
No,
of,
he doesn't care.
I think they end like an arena game after. If they're still doing that, I may see if I can hop in on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You should practice his smolder mechanics. And no, I'm kidding.
Don't leak our strats. Second phase
No.
advance though. Urgot, Mel, Darius
So
and
I
Mordekaiser
get.
out of Coinflip. So we'll see what they lock in top. That is telling me
Yeah,
they're looking more tank.
yeah. I'm guessing then maybe Vancouver Impact thinks that Morgana's going jungle if they're banning Mel.
Yeah, I guess so. I know that's a Krieger. I think that's a Krieger
It is
comfort pick. Oh, there we go.
okay. So it is Morgana jungle. I am not a fan of this. I don't like double AP mid jungle, especially double AP mid jungle with
Leota.
your mid laner being really strong CC and your jungle being really strong CC because it just makes Merc's value
This is a
really
five Merc
good.
Treads game.
Yeah. I
Dude,
mean, it's not like it's not the worst, but I'm just not a fan of it, especially now that like you kind of just putting all your hopes on Smolder to stay alive every fight. You're putting all your hopes on Smolder to make sure that, especially if Vancouver Impact now picks any sort of tank, like I think it's just I don't know. Maybe they just play it better than I do though.
something like that, huh? Yeah, I'm with you though. Like you're just giving over free Merc Treads value, and then you're not setting yourself up with a good mid jungle, which is how game one was really decided off mid jungle skirmish. Into Orianna
Yeah.
Wukong, Vancouver Impact are going to be quite
Oh,
favored. Super Olaf pick. Oh my
with
goodness.
Emilio as well.
I,
Ay.
yeah, you're nullifying all this CC. It's a great draft response out of Vancouver. You have Melio to
Yeah,
answer Morgliona, and then you have
I gotta
Olaf to
say,
just run through it all.
dude, maybe Coinflip Jungle is just insane on Morgana because I can't imagine why you would pick Morgana R1 here. I mean, or then if you're gonna pick Morgana R1, then just like not pick Syndra, unless it's just they're playing Comfort now. Oh no,
Greg, oof.
I don't like this. I don't like this Coinflip draft at all.
Yeah, you look on one side and you look on the other. It's gonna be a
Yeah, if
stacked
Holder
stacked quarter.
at any point dies in these fights, I think it's just cooked.
It's pretty easy for him to die as well. I mean, look at this wombo.
Yeah,
You have Wukong Ori and then Olaf on your head the whole time.
yeah, I
It's
definitely think, I probably have to give the draft advantage to Vancouver. Yeah. In terms of, I mean, I guess, what do you think? How do you think these teams are going to play out against each other? I think Vancouver Impact just has. I wouldn't say it's not necessarily front to back, but they kind of have really good mid range with the Lucian Milio, and he can kind of just stay out of range of the Syndra. And if he can avoid getting stunned, and even if he gets stunned, he has the Milio ulti to, stop any follow up. So at that
yeah.
point, you're just kind of hoping for a big bomber.
I'm a big fan of the structure that they got set up. Yeah, I think that's the idea with the
Yeah.
Gragas. I don't know Brandino's champ pool. I think it was leaning more towards tanky picks. So that's
Mm.
why you see the Darius Mordekaiser ban. Uh, I don't think it'll be a comfortable lane, but it'll be a survivable lane. And then you're hoping, you can get some good Gragas ultis to separate the fights and give yourself a chance. Because, yeah, this Lucian Melio, they're probably going to be stuck kiting back while Wukong and Olaf are
Yeah.
going in. Orianna plays
I
both
mean,
sides of that.
it also it's kind of tough because even with Gragas, even if you get a good bomber, like Lucian does have a dash and Melio has the cleanse, and Oriana is actually deceptively mobile for being a control mage. Like especially if you go phase rush, like just proccing phase rush or even just putting a W on yourself, like if you can survive the initial burst with Emilio behind you, I think it's just really tough. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess if Smolder just has a absolutely cracked game and hits his stacks by like 18 minutes, I think then it becomes more playable. But
I'm with
it's
you.
tough. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, mid feels very even. I mean, Ori Syndra's like a classic mid lane matchup. And Syndra isn't as strong early as she was pre-rework, but she's still really good laning wise. I mean, Ori, I think by the time she gets a few points into Q, she really starts taking over that lane a bit more. And Syndra really can just kind of sit back and then QE but post like I think level 7, Oriana has enough points in Q where she can just constantly move ball every 2 to 3 seconds and just kind of put it in between Syndra, like put it on the backline minions and kind of just like threaten Syndra anytime she wants to walk anywhere near the wave.
Yeah, may struggle early, but with the winning lanes you have elsewhere, I don't think it'll matter. This game will be all on Smolder for the side of Coinflip. If they can get him
Yeah.
ahead, great. But this Lucian's probably just gonna build Ma as well, because you might as well. It's 3 magic damage, 4 if you can count Leona. You're gonna have Merc treads on every single member of Vancouver.
I mean, I hope so, because Merc Treads go in have some crazy value this game.
Yep, and then I don't know. Maybe you get some miracle picks in these fights, but
I
with
mean, I can see. I
Emilio,
mean, most of these games, right? As much as we talk about dropped, it's really like you can talk about it from like a theoretical perspective of how you think the games can play. But like, if Coinflip gets like 3 kills early onto Syndra or Smolder and just like rams bot lane or mid lane, like the game's still very playable. But you kind of have to play from a front foot now because even with the Smolder scaling, it's like Smolder scales, but how he plays these fights is tough. Because even with Morgana's shield, like you got Wukong flying in on you, and you got Olaf that can just kind of run you down. So, I mean, I'm thinking Smolder's probably going to be taking Ghost would be better for team fights, but then your lanes just suffers a lot, no?
yeah, uh, I think Ghost is probably the call here because you are looking to scale. And welcome to
Yeah.
casting too. You got to talk theoretical after champ select here, and then you just hope it kind of plays out the way you want. You mentioned it to help you sound smart. Uh,
Oh yeah. No, it's
and be
definitely,
like,
dude, at this
as
point,
as we were talking about, in the draft, that's exactly what
yeah.
happened.
I mean, after all I've been saying, I'm pretty sure at this point, just Coinflip's just gonna run them down. I mean, like everything I'm saying is probably gonna be wrong.
We're just gonna be
Maybe
buying
they
like 3 ninja tabbies, and then
just
the Vancouver Impact just gonna get rolled.
Yeah.
That's exactly the type of caster curse you need to experience to be fully integrated into this broadcasting world.
And I'm assuming this is a best of 3, right?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Best
I
of three
really then
fearless.
I really want Coinflip to win this game so we can see a game 3. That would be
Yeah,
a lot more fun.
I'm here for it too. I think this is Group A. This is not our group. Um,
What group are we in?
or Group B. Another
Ah,
like between you and me, I think it's another group of death. But I
okay.
think they're
No,
a
we
bit
got
more
this.
top heavy, and then Group A, it just seems like there's a little more parity in terms
Hmm.
of competition.
Okay.
Two of their series went 3 games last week, and then this one
Nice.
game one wasn't necessarily close, but Coinflip were definitely the favorites, and so a bit of an upset from VIP, potentially looking for another upset
Has
game win here.
VIP changed anything about their team, or have they played before? And I'm assuming this is just the same team that they had.
I'm gonna assume it's the same.
No?
I don't really know the story too much. Uh, I just pick up what I can from whatever casting and whoever I get the chance to talk with. I will
Yeah.
say, I think it's sick how they all have their VIP thing
Dude, I
on
was
their
thinking,
names.
do you remember when they had clubs
Yep,
in League?
yep.
Dude, why can't they bring that back? I was like thinking we should get one for our team, but I'm not gonna change my name, dude. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
too
that's
much.
too much. Maybe we're not committed to the craft like that, but I don't
No,
get why you can't just like do a little team thing, especially with like
no, that's
Clash
not my
being
name.
relatively normal now. Like, just give us something, make it feel more professional.
Yeah, I mean the Samlad name is just, after this season it's gonna be too popular. I can't change it and then risk losing it, you know?
Yeah, gonna be making a lot of fans, huh?
Uh-huh. Well, we'll see
Okay.
how many fans I make talking shit about people's drafts.
We're just spitting facts, just spreading opinions. Okay, so thanks JDTR. It sounds like Marshall was jungle last week, and then
Uh-huh.
Pixel was support for a game. So maybe a little bit of switching around just from week one. Definitely liking the shape of this team though. I feel like very well rounded. I like Pixel did some good work in the jungle, and then Marshall as well in the bot. The bot lane of Coinflip's pretty darn good. I have a lot of respect for them. GeoPro and Bori, two very strong like
Yeah.
individual players, and so they held their own in game one and shaping up well
Yeah.
draft wise for game two.
I mean, I did see from what I picked up on the the professional broadcast before, that the skirmish was really, really tight around the river,
Yep.
which is always tough to see, when you lose those skirmishes and then, you know,
Yeah, because it's like, oh,
morale's
what if
down a
we
little
won? And
bit.
then, that whole game looks different realistically.
Yeah, and then, your captain decides to review skirmish, and then we just hyper focus on kind of flashing into the enemy.
This guy's catching too many strays.
We
Go back and clip every
should come
single
on
one.
broadcast. We should have a Ninja Turtles broadcast. That would be great.
Ninja Turt's TriCast could go crazy. I think Quadcast, if we invited like Brady in for a Quadcast, I think that's
Nah,
maybe too much.
Brady Connor in the same call. That's too much.
Not gonna be
They're
talking
gonna
about the game
be.
at all. What do you
Okay.
think? Do you think this had to be a mistake, right? The electrocute on Oriana?
Yeah, I probably I don't like it. There's really no point in getting electrocute. You're not gonna outburst Syndra. I mean, if you have more items, yeah. I mean, and like mid to late, if you just ulti solo in Syndra, like sure. But even then, there's like no point. Like I prefer to see Oriana's into Syndra lanes pick like Airy, just to like be able to play the lane a bit earlier. Like Ori's good early, like there's parity, but Syndra is just a little bit easier to play by like levels 1 to 4, in my opinion, because your Q is slightly longer range. Like if you hit them at the edge of the Q, so you can hit them when they go for minions, and it's just easier to harass a little bit and to like QE stun, and you don't have a low enough cooldown on Oriana to move your Q around.
Yeah, good trade. I'm thinking it was just Aurora runes. I'll write off as that. Great ward from
Oh yeah.
Vancouver Impact in that little middle bush there. A lot of engaged supports want to sit there early on, try to get a little bit of an early advantage, but the double range of Marshall and Koros already chunking down GeoPro. We see
I mean,
Marco
you can
trading
already
well in the top
see
lane as well.
Melio abusing his range by just running in and out of bush. I mean, I don't play bot lane, but I know that that's something you should be doing. Just to like harass and drop aggro. I mean, dropping a ward there is good, but the minions kind of past him now, so it's just shove in, I guess, wait for pushback, wait for Morgana to farm from bot to top, and then, take it from there.
I think crucial point, Morgana's pathing up, so it's going to be on Bori and GeoPro, who we talked about. This Smolder is the win con. It's going to be on them to just try to survive and stack up where they can as this wave pushes into them. And Wukong
Yeah.
pathing down means this Vancouver Impact bot lane may be snowballed early on if Pixel can accomplish a successful gank or a dive. I wouldn't
I
go
don't
for a
even think it
dive,
necessarily
but
has to be a gank or a dive. I think even if they're not sure where Morgana started, if Wukong's just, moving from top to bot here, he can just cover a gank. So like, I don't know if they know where Morg is, but if they didn't, I'd assume the thinking would be play Wukong top to bot, cover any kind of a little bit of
stun
fighting
comes
in
on through.
bot
This is
lane.
going to be good for the Lucian, though. Oh, never mind. Double autos the minions, so not as good as it could have been. Early
Yeah,
on, if there's no kill pressure on the Leona follow-up, you can't really do too much, but Aristotle looping
and
around in
there's
the
the
top lane.
Morgana.
Marco's a bit caught out. This is the fast clear of the Morgana. Connects with the
Oh,
root. No flash on Marco. Is going to pop the Ghost. Try to trade it back onto Aristotle. Is swinging that axe. And with the Ghost, able to walk out. No, flash root from Aristotle locks him down, but not enough damage onto Marco, who's
oh,
running
oh,
it back.
oh,
It's a crazy close one.
oh, that is
He's
unfortunate.
able to get out. Stun going in through onto Koros. Saving the cleanse for now. Uses it against the ignite. And now Pixel in the bottom lane here. Looking for the dive. Bori falling dangerously low. The
Oh.
area and the oh, the scorch. No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that. I think Smolder, you have barrier. Why not just use it?
I think the
Like, not
scorch.
when you get hit by the Melio, but when you're trading with the Lucian, right? I'd assume that you'd want to use barrier there just to see if you can,
Ooh, Koros flashing
pressure
out.
the Lucian out of lane or something.
Playing a bit aggressively there. As Pixel's looking in the mid lane here.
He'll be
Krieger
fine.
gonna walk that one out. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's always tough as ADC. You want to hold that barrier for as late as possible, just because it does bait out damage a lot of the times. But something that Tango Fish and I talk about a lot is like just use it early as you're trading,
Yeah.
because you are blocking functionally the same amount of damage. But this time,
Yeah,
Bori
I mean,
getting
unless
caught
you're trying
out.
to bait them in, like to overstep a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, I assume from what I see, a lot of like the pro players tend to pop barrier really early and just like heavy trade to get control of the lane. I
Hmm.
mean, it's harder to do that when you're, level one Leona and level one Smolder, but
Yeah.
oh,
So Aristotle starting up the Drake. He's on the edge of this scuttle as well. A little Morgana tech, I guess. You don't have to walk over it. You can stay on the edge here. You can do Fog of War for blue side. Yeah, they have no clue. Well, Smolder
oh no,
showed just for a second there. We'll see if
yeah,
pings
Smolder
come
gave away
down
the
to
game.
contest. But
Yeah,
it's too
I
late
don't
for
think there's
now.
any point. I don't think Blue is gonna really be oh, maybe they are gonna be contesting. Bot lane's fighting, I think.
They are. Go back down there. GeoPro jumped on in, but Koros dashes on out. So a few extra stacks for the Smolder, but not much else. I
Yeah,
brought
I
it up
missed
to
that
top lane because I was just
28.
curious about this
Yeah, I
Olaf
mean,
into Gragas. Gragas is honestly holding pretty well, but I think now that Olaf is 6, things may get a lot more difficult.
yeah, I don't think he's gonna try dive on this wave. I mean, he could actually, probably. I mean, Gragas has no TP. No, I think he's just gonna take the back here. Yeah, I mean, up 5 CS, Gragas is holding his own. I don't know how that lane matchup goes, so, I mean, I'm assuming it's going well for him.
Yeah, I think, Gragas is just a great neutralizer, so doing
Hmm.
his job there. Geopro sitting in this bush. Maybe able to find something. Goes on
Oh,
forward. Zenith Blade is going to
oh.
fall a little bit short, though. Now he's going to be caught out as some damage traded back.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go for the auto Q reset, but he
Yeah,
just autoed and then Melio just walked out of range before he could hit the Q.
it was close. And now with Wukong in the bot lane, this could be trouble as GeoPro goes in, does have the flash up, uses it to get out. So Pixel
Yeah,
with
I
a
mean,
nice little position there.
just a great gank from Pixel. I mean, just like hiding in the bush. Generally, you want to see your jungler do that. Lead.
Stunner gets caught out by the stun,
Good
and the
for
chain
him.
CC is
Yeah.
going to follow. That's an easy kill. There's no Merc Treads yet.
That's what I was saying. It was early game. It's pretty decent.
Yeah,
I
we see
mean,
that combo.
yeah, I mean, at that point, you just have to flash early. But if you're not expecting the Morgana to come after you get QE'd, because you're not gonna just flash a random Syndra QE, so you just kind of have to predict that Morgana is gonna be in the bush there. But as most of us mid laners know, junglers just love mid lane for some reason, and they don't want to let you know two
Yep.
bros fight it out,
No
which is
handshake
kind of
top
cringe.
lane agreement. But and
Yeah.
that was a good mid lane matchup thus far for Stunner. The Orianna was up a
Yeah.
bit of CS, and that helps bring it back a little bit for Krieger. So
Yeah, I
well
mean,
done by the
Oriana's
side of
done past,
Coinflip.
in my opinion, the hardest phase of the lane until Syndra gets enough damage to threaten like an all-in.
Hmm.
Like Ori's at level 7 now, she should have enough points in her Q. Like she should have 4 points in her Q. It's low enough cooldown that she can constantly threaten, and she has lane pressure. So I think Oriana's really chilling here.
Yeah, bot lanes have rotated up for the Grubs. We see both supports in the area as Marco's trading with Brandino. So Grubs are
Yeah.
live. We may see a
Do we
bit of a
think Red Team's
skirmish
gonna
around
fight?
here. They're kind of approaching it. Because Aristotle's in the area as well, so no Lucian and
I
no Syndra.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be a good
Bot lane.
fight
Pixel
necessarily.
flashing in, gets the shockwave combo over top. Bori forced to flash and barrier out and is now on the run as VIP giving chase. In comes the Ola, but he's charging forward while very low health. Bori getting dove on by Pixel, who dodges the rune and finishes the kill off. Now Stunner, all the damage on him, on his shoulders. Marshall
Oh,
gets bombed
great
back.
lag
Flash forward
effect.
from Stunner to kill the Leona, but the root onto Marshall is going to be enough to trade another one back. So net positive over to Coinflip. As I say that, Marshall trying to get out flash forward from Aristotle. Been on point
Yeah,
with these roots.
I think Morgana had enough from the top lane fail gang. See, I think what's happening is like what we said earlier, that theoretically drafts work a certain way, but if you win these skirmishes early, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, still really early. I mean, we see that was an Orianna Wukong combo, but the spell shield was popped in time, I think, just onto Aristotle's Morgana. And so it
Yeah,
was
I
really just
mean,
Bori who was caught out. And the Smolder's not really the carry at this point of the game.
no, it's definitely the Morgana and the Syndra at this point are gonna be putting the bulk of the I guess, fight in the early game. I mean, also the Orianna Wukong combo is not that. I mean, it's good, like if you can get it, but you need some kind of follow-up. It's not like the best because Orianna ulti doesn't do enough damage. Wukong doesn't have enough items to finish off anyone that gets chunked just yet.
Hmm.
So, I mean, overall, I think good play from Coinflip.
That's right, and they're going to be able to convert another 2 grubs over their way, so 2-to-1 grubs in favor of Coinflip, extending their gold lead to about 1,000. Brandino forced to ulti to prevent any more worse trade there. Bot lane of
Yeah, I mean,
Vancouver
Syndra's doing a
staying
great.
there, so grubs go over to Coinflip.
Yeah, Syndra's also doing a great job just kind of denying Melio and Lucian being able to hit the turret. I mean, that's what you do when you're a control mage. Just clear the wave, poke a little bit when you can, and just keep the turret safe when you're in a disadvantaged 2v1 lane. And I guess they're going to be keeping Syndra bot here, which I don't mind at all.
Yeah, I guess it's looking like it's letting the Smolder stack up more safely. Orianna can't walk up as easily. This collapse comes on through, sidestepped by Stunner. Mountain Dragon may be the next big objective up that these teams could scrap around.
Yeah, I definitely think you take as many chances as you can if you're coin flip right now to fight these early objectives, especially because none of the enemy champions, besides I guess Lucian, have their items, but I don't know how big of a power spike Essence Reaver is for Lucian, but I'm pretty sure that Blackfire Torch is a slightly bigger strike for Syndra at this point.
Yeah, Marco trading aggressively in the top lane. Solar Flare stun down onto the Wukong. Pixel falling low, forced to use the Cyclone. As Koros going in onto Aristotle. Uses that Lucian ulti, cleanses away from the Cinder stun. Looking for more as the Campfire comes on forward. Dashing on in, gets caught by the Zenith Blade, and now forced to kite it out. Campfire ulti out from Marshall, keeps Koros alive, enough to kill GeoPro. He's still dashing forward and forces the mid jungle out of Coinflip. Great play
Yeah,
out of Vancouver Impact's 80 carry.
no, honestly, really good. Flashing forward there, forcing Syndra to flash, and just like having the double shield bot on him, so he's just frustratingly tanky at these early portions of the game, even with Orianna shield because it gives you a little bit of resist.
Yeah, I may have
It's
underplayed
just
it with the great play. That was filth. That was
yeah,
dashing forward, cleansing when he needed to, and dodging everything else. And then the
yeah, and I think
support, having
really
the trust of
honestly,
Marshall and Stunner behind you,
yeah,
gets the
I think
kill.
also a little bit underrated that Marshall there held his ulti even after Syndra QE, so he could cleanse the Morgana chains.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of a very well coordinated bot lane duos. Ulti onto Stunner, but at this point of the game, just the Blackfire Torch the Syndra. Not going to be enough
Now,
for the full
honestly, you
kill.
know what? I get it.
Oh yeah,
You're
you
trying
go
to
for
get
that
first
every
press out.
time.
Yeah, just do it. Get him out of lane. Oh, close.
Stun just misses. So we're even on Drake's. And, it's going to be on Vancouver Impact to really try to continue to accelerate this mid game as Pixel
There is
looking in
no
the bot
flash on
lane.
the Syndra, by the way. Remember that Lucian popped the flash and
Yep.
Syndra no ultis. The
There's the
E's don't
combo.
really do much at this point. Yeah.
Easy kill over to Pixel.
I mean, side laning, I think, is just suited better for Orianna than it is for Syndra. I mean, Syndra is incredibly immobile, and one of your main trading abilities, your E, is your only form of peel. And I think Orianna is just way better at getting out. Like I said before, she's just deceptively mobile. And, when you got a Wukong and Orianna with ulti just jumping on you as a Syndra with no flash, I mean, not much you can do there.
Agreed. Mid lane, see the bot lane's kind of just handshake, ping pong back and forth the waves. We'll give a
Yeah.
smolder stack check at 108, 13 minutes in, so doing all right for himself. Pretty decent. There's the kickback onto GeoPro, but he gets caught by the root
Oh,
anyway. Now
what a
Koros
good
forced to kite
layer
out.
of CC.
Aristotle gonna have the stun come on through. In comes the chain CC. Be enough
Very
for
well done.
2 kills over to
Very, very.
Coinflip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really like that. Just really good layering of the CC, just layering damage, just everything about that was great. And I mean, Smolder can just sit here and just continuously stack. I mean, he is just slightly behind 10 minutes per 10 stacks per minute because I mean, also early game your Q is the single target, so you're trying to get it to the AoE portion so you can stack quicker. So I'm gonna imagine that the stacks are gonna go up a lot faster from here. And like I said before, if he can get his stacks going early, doesn't really matter that I don't think their comps as good because, you know,
Yep.
Money talks.
So here we go. 2 Merc Treads finally in. That may have made that play a little tougher, but a great catch out from GeoPro. And Aristotle, he flashed over this Raptor wall, so very nice angle, very unexpected probably from the Vancouver Impact side. And that was a
Yeah,
nice little
I
2
mean,
kills. It can be really tough to pick off bot lanes in this mid-game, mid-lane stage, but Coinflip find a way to pounce.
yeah, I mean, I think they also did a good job there going for the Melio, because realistically, Lucian just has no way to peel the Melio. But Melio's, that help out the Lucian, so
That's true, yeah. Emilio
just
didn't
good
get the
target
ulti
connection.
off. I think that'll be a good tale of like what Coinflip need to do to win fights is, maybe somehow catch out this Melio or just create numbers advantages to be able to march forward and really get their chain CC off, which will be tougher as the game
Yeah,
goes on, but showing they can do it is a good sign.
I mean, it's also just a little bit tough, right? Because like,
Pulling over top on a Bori forces the barrier.
oh, I mean, good play from Lucian there, just to get the barrier out. That's what you want to do with Lucian. In mid lane, you just want like mid lane superiority there, constantly having push in the lane. I mean, it's just good play. But like I was saying before, I think I actually forgot what I was saying. Never mind.
Don't worry about it. The Syndra is having her way in the side lane into the Orianna. I feel like getting the push into Stunner.
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point, when you're playing Orianna here, you need to not be too worried about. That's why I like Phase Rush personally, because
Hmm.
if you're playing into a Syndra and Syndra stuns you, and she's gonna walk up to try hit the W afterwards, if you can turn after the stun's over, especially with Merc Treads, and hit
Full
QW,
shield onto Aristotle. No flash from earlier. In comes the Cyclone, and that's a pick. Unfortunately, going over to the Melio.
I
30
mean,
seconds
fortunately,
before
there's
Dragon
nothing really.
spawns.
They're on the opposite side of Herald, so I can see them. I
GeoPro
mean,
in the
Herald.
top lane here. Ragnarok popped from the Olaf, who is going to try to heal it on back, but enough
Oh,
damage coming through from Randino. So cross-map play from both of these teams here. Maybe a bit of a race for first tower. I think it's going to go the way of Vancouver Impact. And
yeah.
Koros is in the mid lane as well, so Vancouver Impact are getting the better of all these little side lane actions.
Yeah, and they've got their Lucian sitting mid the whole time, soaking up XP, and their Smolder's, top lane. So I think a little bit of an over rotate from Smolder, but also at that point, right, it's like an Olaf into a Gragas Leona. You're kind of setting Smolder up there, just hoping that the Olaf doesn't 2v1. Luckily, they didn't need him, but it also means that they give up a wave of XP in gold mid, and
First
still only
tower,
giving up more
even
XP in
one for
gold.
one kills. Yes, they get the Herald. A bold TP out of Brandino, I will say, as this mid lane is still left open. Krieger going to try to
Yeah,
close
I
the
think
gap.
Syndra needs to be really careful here, walking in.
Forced to flash out.
Uh,
Koros dashing on forward with the Coling, flashes to the side, and with the cozy campfire, going to have enough range to knock down Krieger. What an aggressive Lucian. Pixel in the area as well. Looking to keep the fight going is GeoPro. Backed up by Aristotle and Brandino, but this is a 3 versus 4. Brandino flashes in, but the Melio able to peel out. 3-man shockwave out of
oh,
stunner as
three
Koros
man
dashes forward
shockwave.
yet again. Sidesteps the solar eclipse as it looks like that will be the end of that fight. As I say that, Pixel flashing on in, forces the Morgana ulti out, is going to be caught by the stun, and the chain CC is going to come on through. Flash forward from GeoPro as the fight continues.
And a
Stunner
flash
flashes out,
royale.
and that will finally be it. Chase is
No,
still
I
being
think they're
given.
extended tracing. Morgana's behind.
GeoPro's alone. Yeah, he's getting caught out. And now they're getting corralled here. Stunner dodges the root, but the burn comes through. It's not going to
Doesn't
be enough.
matter.
Too late as Bori jumping on forward, and Koros is very low health. Can't quite heal it up. Flash forward from Aristotle looking for more. Marco TPing in during this whole thing. He's going to pop Ghost, pop the Ragnarok, go for it onto Aristotle. This Olaf is rampaging on forward. Bori forced to flash on out. Is going to try to kite it out. Flaps his wings. Going to be able to get away from that. And now it's a 2 versus 1. Marco Paw going to fall down. Kill over to Bori. Sam Lad, what a long little fight we had
Oh
there.
my goodness. I think, honestly, really good play from VIP there to pick off the Syndra, who was just kind of being a little bit disrespectful in the mid lane wave that she shouldn't have been there. She should have got around. And then they overplayed. And then Red Team, in my opinion, took a really bad fight because they were 3v4 there. They didn't have either of their carries. But they extended it long enough that Smolder came in, managed to clean up, and they still managed to get the Olaf at the end of that as well. I think that might be a play that honestly could turn the game for Coinflip's favor. I think now with the 3K gold lead, they have a lot of stacks and some money on Smolder. He's up on items now on Lucian. I think you're feeling very comfortable if you're Coinflip here.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, this Morgana has 8 kills, so I guess, like we said, hating on the Morgana jungle, both of us, and then it's really coming to fruition here. It's doing wonders.
Yeah, I mean, what did I say? I said it's just whatever we say, the opposite's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, I think Pixel just extending that fight too long, and Vancouver Impact, trying to fight it back after that
Oh, good
Wukong
dodge.
fell down. TP's coming in all over the place. As I'm sure comms were chaotic as hell during that fight. And eventually, Smolder walks away with 2 kills. Now has a bounty. Take a look at the individual goal. It's 1.2k up on the Lucian.
On the
That
Smolder,
is,
you mean?
yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Smolder's 1.2k up on the Lucian.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where you want the gold lead to be as a coin flip. They're starting up the Otacon. 10k damage, and with their zone control, I think they'll be able to get this one.
Yeah, I think they just take it before VIP gets there. I mean, Morgana really puts damage into this Otacon, like, really quickly. Like, Wukong's just not there. I think they're just hoping to get some exit kills here, but I think if Coinflip just get out, yeah, that's just a net positive play for them. I mean, I guess it goes to show that, it really doesn't matter how good a draft is into another team's draft if you're just good at playing your champion. You're just good at playing your champion. Sometimes I think, uh, you know, as players, you tend to overthink the draft, and sometimes I think it's just better to pick stuff that you're just good at, even though I would have not personally done it, but it's working out well for them.
Agreed. So a mid lane tower is traded back by VIP. Way to get a little something back, but I'd say very nice Otacon to have, especially this early. You can take a look at the
Oh yeah,
levels. Pretty much gives an advantage across the board in
I
terms of
mean 2 level
XP.
lead on Gragas. I mean I've told you 100 times before. I think Otacon might be more broken than Baron, especially if you get it in a snowball position. You just go up 1 or 2 levels, and levels are so strong at this point. Like I think this Morgana is probably doing more damage than her carries are at this point. And she's uh still got more to build. I mean,
Yeah, she's got Seekers now, so it's going to be tough to pounce on her and kill her with a full one-shot combo.
yeah.
Smolder stack check real quick as well. Let's see here.
What's he at?
207, so likely going to have it, after this Drake.
Yeah, I mean he's probably
Maybe
gonna get it.
that's a window for VIP to try to get something going.
He honestly might get it.
12.
Yeah, I mean maybe one more wave and he could probably get it mid Drake fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Coinflip, we're going to try to hold on before fighting in order to get that Smolder to take it over. But Aristotle walking on forward, electrocute from the Oriana coming on through. And Olaf is TPing in. I want to see this Olaf on a flank is, I think, the ideal situation for Vancouver.
Yeah, I agree. I think just especially he's gonna cause so much havoc in that backline, and there's no way for anyone to get away except flashing over a wall.
Vancouver starting out the Drake, though.
Oh,
Caught by the stun is the Melio, though. Forced to
great
ulti
pick.
just himself. And now with no Melio, Coinflip is corralling them in the pit, but jumping in onto the back line is this Olaf and the
Smolder has
Wukong. He gets
execute.
popped by Brandino, though. And yes, Bori does fall to Marco, but it's just the carries left alive for Vancouver Impact. And Drake goes over to Coinflip. Explosive fight there and catching off the Melio at the start there. Marshall leading his troops maybe a little too forward there. Coinflip
Yeah,
pounce,
honestly, just
get the Drake and win the
great.
fight.
Yeah, just great pick from Coinflip. I mean, the Melio's out the fight at that point. I think the fight's just won. The Melio really just enables the Lucian to do what he wants to in these fights. But even then, I think next time VIP might be strong enough to take on Coinflip in a 5v5 would be when you gotta wait for that Lucian to get Infinity Edge.
Yeah, and by that point, you're looking at the rest of the map and thinking, is it too late? That was Aristotle's 9th kill on this Morgana. This Smolder has
Do you
now
mind
officially
checking,
crested 225.
You mind checking the Syndra stack for me? The
Of
splinters?
course.
What's she at? 98. Okay, so 2 off Execute. I think you got Execute on Syndra, Execute on Smolder. Smolder's online. He got his 225 stacks mid Dragon fight, like we were thinking before. And now, it's early enough. Smolder's I don't even know how far he is away from Finny Edge, but once he gets that, I think this Orianna and the solution, and especially this Melio, are incredibly vulnerable to just getting absolutely popped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's also just a 3 level difference here. I mean, Wukong can put some damage in, but even then, Gragas walks away with more health. Like, levels are just so incredibly strong here, and it's just really hard.
Marshall getting caught out in the river here. In comes the Unleashed Wrath and the Morgana ulti. Another aggressive overstep out of the VIP support. And with the support down, eyes turning towards the Baron for Coinflip.
Yeah, so I think what we've learned here is that we shouldn't talk about drafts anymore.
Sure, works for me. Yeah, I mean, they got the 4 Merc Treads like we said, but it's not enough.
Yeah,
It's going to be
but
an
I
easy
guess what they
Baron.
really needed was the Merc Treads and the Melio. Because
Uh,
he's been picked out now like 2, 3 times. I mean, it is tough to play because you're trying to get vision as Melio, but you need your especially jungler to be coming with you because you're super vulnerable. Like unlike a Leona who can face check bushes, Melio can't really walk in on his own except, you know, and then that happens and he just gets picked off and then it's just tough to play from here. So now I want to see how Coinflip close this game because I think it should be a pretty solid 4-1, maybe even 5-man push into a lane, and they just got to be careful of getting picture.
yeah, I like what Vancouver Impact is doing. This is kind of the overload style, you know. Sit in a bush, hope someone overextends, and then with multiple
Yeah, and I
members,
think
maybe you can catch a pick. This Gragas walking on forward is going to be a tough one to catch out. See if
they're
they
not
pull the
going.
trigger.
I guess they're concerned they don't know where the other Coinflip members are just yet. They haven't shown on the map. I mean, now they're
Oh,
showing three
it's
mid.
tough.
They're going to be
Koros is not going to be
sending.
able to hold this mid lane alone, especially on something
No,
like
and
the
if he gets
Lucian.
stunned, yeah. And Gragas back, then he's just going to go top. And
Oh, Koros forced to cleanse out, forced to flash out. Trade of flashes between Aristotle and Koros. So that Morgana with no
oh,
flash could be crucial in an upcoming fight. As Pixel going on in, 3-man Cyclone into
oh
3-man
big
Shockwave, but
ulti.
in comes the Smolder Dragon. Mom comes to the rescue, and
Yeah,
what looked like a
I
great
mean,
start
it's
to a
just
fight, Pixel's just blown up.
tough. Yeah, it's just tough at that point. You're using 2 ultis, and Wukong didn't have enough time to really do anything besides click R. Like, you kind of needed an Olaf over the top there, and they're not really playing to their comp strengths right now because they're trying to set up Olaf in the side lane because I'm guessing you want your Olaf to be strong in the side lane, but in my opinion, I guess I want to see this Olaf grouping a bit more after pushing, especially with the Baron up. I think you're trying to look for a flank on Olaf, try and turn these fights because at this point, they do just have a bit of a range advantage with the 3 mid jungle ADC range, especially with Smolder rapid fire cannon. You can just hit Q from far away. You start burning. It's tough to play.
Agreed, yeah. I mean, here we go. There is Olaf on the side lane. Pops the Ghost, pops the Ragnarok, is chasing down Krieger, who is spawning
Yeah,
those
this one
orbs,
just
but
dead.
that's going to be a good solo kill for Marco Pa. You know, the Olaf
I
was
mean,
looking to be in the fight, but just a bit late, and Pixel saw the angle, win for it.
oh,
Pixel, no angle there as he's forced to flash out. Dragon up in
yeah, I mean,
15,
just great
so
play.
maybe this is an angle.
Yeah, I mean, just good play from Olaf there. He manages to put the Baron push on hold, and now he's threatening top. Someone has to answer him, or they lose a shutdown on the top tower. I mean, they don't have to, but they're just going to give Olaf a lot more gold. I think what they should be playing for here is probably pushing.
Pixel forced to defensive Cyclone, and Bernardino with the body slam flash forward. Marco Pa, though, is trading back on the top side. Looks like the call is going to be for the Olaf to back up. And third Drake, soul point, going to be coin flip for the taken.
Yeah. Someone in the chat said, I don't know why BFT on Syndra isn't just burst pen better here. I mean, yeah, it's not too bad, to be honest. I mean, Syndra has enough burst where she doesn't necessarily need Ludens. I think a champion like Orianna with Ludens plays a lot differently to Orianna with Blackfire Torch. She just has a lot more burst. Whereas with Syndra, I think if you get a QE on any of the carries, you can just hit QE, and if you manage to hit the W ult on top, it's just a one-shot practically every time.
Yeah, that's CLT. He's the GOAT. He does like
Yeah, it's
everything for
also
this league.
this is the Nemesis build, the Blackfire Torch into Cosmic Drive.
Oh,
He
okay.
loves that. He loves that item combo.
I can see it. He's hyping up your
Yeah,
voice
I
too.
mean,
This is Sam
uh,
Lad, by the way, the Ninja Turt's mid laner.
yeah, the
Um,
star mid laner.
yes, sorry, I didn't preface it with that. GeoPro going in, gets the stun on a pixel. Does have the Merc Tread, so trying to walk it out, but not going to be able to do so. This Wukong getting rolled over as Aristotle picks up their 11th kill of the game. And
I will
Coinflip
always
looking
feel bad for
poised.
junglers at this point in the game because your jungle is not yours anymore and you have nothing to farm. It
Yeah,
is just so insanely tilting to play at this point as a jungler. Because what do? You can't take your farm. You just kind of have to hope to. You just got to play the team fights better. That's all you're really hoping for. Like, it's just looking way better for a coin flip right now. I
Shockwave
mean,
onto two. Brandino forced to dash on out. Just helps
it's a
clear the
good
wave.
play. They do have red buff. They can just kind of wait to regen a little bit. Syndra's just sitting on bot wave, and no one can really answer right now because it's a mismatch 4v5. They can just pull back, take the farm. Syndra can leave. Yeah, I mean, if you're Wukong in this situation, you're 3 levels down to Morgana, and I think you just won FF because this sounds like absolute hell to play right now.
Yeah, Aristotle and Coinflip have been doing a really good job of pushing the lead. You can see it on
Yeah,
display there. They're just pinching Pixel out of the jungle by establishing vision, and with the great single target CC you have, even with the Warrior Trickster clone that Pixel has at his disposal, it's not enough to get out of these pounces that Coinflip is calling for. And now Baron up in 20. Expect that to be the next play for this red team. They look to continue to
yeah, I
snowball.
mean,
Smolder's at 300 stacks.
oh,
Be a bit of a catch out on GeoPro. Cleanse forced out from
he is
Koros, and
so
GeoPro
tanky.
flashing
I mean, you
up.
got the flash out of her, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, VIP is doing a good thing here, which I think is what they should be doing when they have Emilio support, is like going with the Emilio to help get vision down. But at this point, it's just tough. You have no pressure in the side lane. Your mid inhibitor's down. You know, you're gonna get pulled all around the map, and Emilio still can't go in to get vision on his own. So you have to commit extra resources just to see if they're on Baron, and now Coinflip can play the game of pulling you from one side of the map to the other. I think they're just going to kind of camp in these bushes, push waves, look for a pick if they can, and probably end up starting Baron soon.
would expect that as well. Marco Pa had to answer the bot lane of the Gragas. Both top laners do have TP though, so are ready to join.
Wait.
And we can see Stunner playing dangerously close to the edge there. If you get caught by any of these abilities, that Zenith Blade, that Syndra stun, that Morg binding, could be in trouble.
Yeah, this Emilio is playing with fire. I mean, if he's dodging everything, good on
Yeah,
him.
so as I said, that Olaf rotating up, but giving over the inhib to Brandino. Exactly what you said, Samlad. They are just pulling VIP around the map.
Yeah, and
So,
they're just going to continuously do that because there's no point in doing really anything else at this point, you know? Now they can see 3 people in base, and they're just going to start up Baron.
yeah, great map play out of Coinflip. Going to be able to get a relatively free Baron here. Probably use
Yeah,
that to convert that into the soul. I mean, just textbook gameplay out
yeah.
of
I
Coinflip.
mean, yeah, at this point, I think some teams, I think we're guilty of it too. They might send their Gragas top lane here. I want to see Gragas either go mid or bot, so they can really push on those lanes and secure vision around Dragon, which I think they're probably going to be doing. You can see Gragas going with them. I think, you know, just push in, push waves, and it should be all but done at this point.
Agree. This
Holder
soul
has
fight
Guardian
will
Angel
decide
too.
it.
I think that's just so impossible to play.
Yeah, Bori with the GA. Expect him to clean house as the ulti comes on through. Pixel forced to flash out. In comes Brandino with the flash
Bomba.
body slam. Bori gets one. Flaps on out from the Olaf dive. Looking to pick up a second there as Brandino picks up the Lucian. And 3 kills
Yeah, I
down
think
for
that's it.
Coinflip. They're just going to march down mid lane. And with the Baron and a dominant Game 2 bounce back, despite the draft differences, Coinflip like those odds.
Yeah, let's go. Game 3.
Game 3, here
I
we
mean, you know
go.
what? I think just big props to wait, what's his name? Aristotle?
Yes.
Big props to Aristotle. He just played the Morgana really well. I mean, we were giving him shit for the first pick Morgana, but when you can play it this well, you might as well pick it because he just won his team the game.
Absolutely. MVP of the match in that jungle. Turning things around for his team. You can look at the stats 11 and 2. I'm sure we'll take a look at the damage charts here and see that reflected as well. So
Yeah.
26k out of the Smolder, kind of expected that is your main carry. But then great damage spread everywhere else. Krieger on the Cinder not even doing too much that game, but
I mean, yeah, this is one of those games when you're playing mid, you're playing a scaling champion, and you just love life because everyone else around you is winning the game, and you can just sit back, bomb, hit a stun maybe once, click R, and just, chill.
exactly that. And Marco and Stunner, on the side of VIP, we're putting in decent work to help, I guess keep their team in it. We see the damage charts. We saw them in team fights for Stunner with the Shockwave and on the side lane with Marco getting
Yeah,
work done
I
on
mean,
that Olaf. Just not enough.
yeah, Stunner had some really good shockwaves there. I think at that point in the game, though, it's just tough because you kind of want the Olaf. I guess it's like a similar situation to Swain, right? Where you want the Olaf fighting early enough that he can't get popped, so that he's a lot more of a threat to the backline, and you can kind of just throw shields on top of him and have him run backline and just let your ADC burn their front line. But they did their best, they tried, but overall, I guess we have no idea what we're talking about when it comes to comps because it's great play from Coinflip.
Exactly that. And now we got a game three. Coin flip showing why they're kind of the favorites here. Taking us, I know a lot of people are East Coast based, but hopefully you're here for this series because it's been a good one so far. A lot of explosive fights. Hoping to see that continue into a game three here. Wait for us to get all sorted. I'm going to step away real quick. I will be right back. Just going to get some water, bathroom, all that, gather my bearings before our final game of the night.
What's up? I'm back.
Oh, wow, good timing. I literally just got back myself.
How's the mic quality, by the way? I actually decided to pull up my mic for this one.
Oh, I think it's good. It's coming out pretty
Does it
clearly.
sound different when I use my phone?
A little bit, yeah. Like a little more raspy, maybe. But
Oh.
oh, draft should be the
Okay.
same link for game three.
Okay.
Just click on the draft three. And it's shaping up to be good as well. A little bit of differences. No Vi ban for Vancouver. They took it themselves. Ambessa first pick out of Brandino
Hmm.
as Amumu, Victor Sivir.
I
This is a crazy explosive team fight.
Yeah, I like the Victor into Ari matchup. Uh, just plain and simple. I mean, Vi Ari, classic 2v2 duo. Really gonna be good in the early game. If Victor and Amuma can get past 15 minutes, I wouldn't say 15, maybe like yeah, if they can get to about 15 to 18 minutes and Victor can get at least two upgrades, without being significantly behind. I think they just play they just feel more comfortable as Victor in some of these fights. But Seraphine on top, they just picked everything in order, I guess. Top jungle
Did
mid ADC
they?
support.
Look at that. Yeah, I don't usually see that, especially out of like solo lanes, top and mid. But that makes it easy
Yeah,
to follow. Two very interesting little 5v5s on both sides. Naturally, Scaling Edge is going to go to Coinflip with just Sivir, Victor, Amumu. But Vancouver
yeah,
Impact have some tools, especially in that top side, to try to get them ahead early. Look for Vi,
yeah. I mean,
Ari.
Yunara with the Seraphine does enjoy some of these fights. I'm guessing what happened was that they first picked Mbessa, so Vancouver uh counted top with, well, I wouldn't say counter, but then they answered top with Renekton, and then they picked Vi. And I'm guessing as coin flip, you know that probably Ari's coming with the Vi, so you pick your jungle mid, and then just kind of went from there.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I think the drafting philosophy on both sides makes sense. Coinflip, I think, just very clearly looking for a big team fight for themselves.
Yeah,
Ambessa, a comfort pick for Bandino. This is the guy who whipped out the Ambessa jungle against us
nice.
with the Ivern top. That game just haunts me, I guess. But comfortable on the Ambessa is the point there. And then
Yeah.
Amumu, Victor Sivir. I mean, that's a crazy team
Oh,
fight. You
right.
throw
You were
Renata
saying
on
that
top of that.
their top laners used to be their jungler.
Yeah, I mean, I think he jumps around a bit,
Mm-hmm.
um, so can kind of play everything. But the Ambessa is in the pocket. I know that for sure in terms of like navigating that mechanically. So good
Yeah.
to see that come
How
out.
does I don't know, how does the lane, our Seraphine into Sivir Renata go? Do you know?
It's just gonna be a snooze fest. Sivir in general as a champ, you're kind of just pushing wave and then backing up. Should be able to, get the push into Yunara, unless they really heavily contest it. If it is heavily contested, it's just going to be on if anyone egregiously oversteps
Yeah. I mean, I
that
guess it
resulting in
is
a
kind
kill.
of tough to play Vi into Renata here, like Renata Mumu.
Yeah, I mean this is a super Renata pick because yes, it's team fight centric, but the dive of Vi and Ari is heavily nullified by Renata, especially with Sivir spell shield as well. So
Yeah, I wonder how these team fights are gonna go. Maybe they have Vi go in, Renata throws ulti, and then Seraphine throws ulti back. Like, I'm
um,
curious how this is gonna go. I mean, if Victor gets ulti upgrade, there's just so much wombo that I feel like the fights post 20 minute, 25 minutes are gonna be just really tough to play for Vancouver here. So it does kind of feel like they're a bit of like a little bit on the clock going into this game.
I'd agree. Yeah, I think maybe your top lane can get an advantage. I'm going to be interested in that this game more so than the other
Yeah.
games. I think Marco Pa has had the side lane 1v1 advantage over Brandino in both of the previous two games, but this is a bit more of a volatile matchup. The Redected into the Ambessa, so maybe Brandino can come out on top there. And
Yeah.
after that, can this Yunara navigate these fights? Because if Yunara can kite out from the initial Amumu engage, then she's going to be in a great spot to really lay down the carries, and it'll be sort of this 80 carry battle of just blow for blow back and forth between late game hyper carries.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one issue though, one tough thing for Renata, why am I saying Renata? Yanara in these fights, is that what is she? She's like 550 range, right? 525.
I don't know the numbers like
So
that, like you guys do.
she's,
It's
she's
low
like,
though.
I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I know she's a slightly bit shorter ranged.
Yes.
So she is gonna be feeling a lot of the the damage from the Victor, and she's gonna be really careful with the movement. Unless I'm gonna assume she's gonna take Cleansia. Um, but if she is able to, I mean, like you were saying before, I'm basically just repeating what you're saying, that if she can bait everything out, she should be good in these fights. But it really does feel like, I mean, do you remember all those costs that LS would do, where he's like, oh, actually, this team comp's 3K behind because they're supposed to be 3K ahead at this point, and they're even, right? Whatever. That's what it feels like. I mean, I don't know how much of that I believe, but like, it does kind of feel like that, where you kind of feel like Vancouver Impact uh, comp kind of wants to play with the advantage here. Otherwise, they feel behind, you know? But we also talked about comps last game, and that didn't matter. So,
I like that take though. Uh,
yeah.
so maybe dialing less into the late game and looking at early game. I think it
Because
is
that's
going to
where they
be
found success in game one, right? They found success in the skirmishes around the
yeah.
river, and that's where they kind of faltered in game two, was that they kind of lost those skirmishes. They lost kind of the draft advantage we thought they had. And at that point, it didn't really matter because they were so far behind that it was kind of tough to play out those fights when you're fighting against like an 8-0 uh, Morgana and like a supercharged Smolder.
100%. So I think that's once again where this game one will be decided for Vancouver. Because if you can get this buy and Ari ahead, then it doesn't matter too much all this
Yeah.
peel you have. If you can get some early Drake stacked, then you give yourself a win con. But I do
Yeah.
think most of that action will be focused around the top side of the map because both these lanes are going to be tough to gank in the bottom lane. That is, Sivir Renata very safe, especially into Vi, and then Yunara with the dash should be able to escape any Amumu ganks. So
Yeah.
it'll be up to the. I really feel like the top laners in the mid jungle can the mid laner of VIP continue to get the push and look to team up with Pixel to make some plays happen. Otherwise, Coinflip, we saw how smartly they were able to play the game too. I'd
Yeah.
expect
Especially
them
when they
to,
had.
they're comfortable sitting back and scaling and taking their fights wisely. The onus is going to be on the Vancouver Impact top side to make stuff happen early. And we saw it happen in game one, looking for it to happen in game two, or game three, rather.
I mean, also both these teams, from what I've seen from game one and game two, they tend to play around objectives really well. Like thinking back to game one, Vancouver playing around that Baron timer and the steal really well, and game two, that kind of like back and forth of the bot lane inhib Baron dance that they had going. I think both these teams play around objectives, so you have to imagine that the team that gets the advantage isn't going to want to let go of it too easily.
100%. Only
Yeah, I mean,
time will tell.
we'll see. Maybe Vi has crazy mechanics. Maybe she'll smite the shield off mid ulti. We don't know what we'll see. I will say, from my perspective though, I love playing Victor into champs like Ari because Victor, though he scales great, he's also really good in lane, especially into champs like Ari. If you can go forward and bait out the charm by kind of like faking going for a CS and try and bait Ari's charm out, at that point you just kind of have onus in the lane. You can just run forward. Your Q kind of stops. Not all of, I'd probably say like 10 to 20% of the QW damage that Ari throws out, and then you just kind of have like a positive trade every time. So it really comes down to like with Victor, you can kind of just sit behind your minions. Level one, you win. You can kind of, I mean, actually, I don't know. Ari with electrocute does a lot of damage early.
Yeah,
I don't know,
we'll see how they
I'm
play it
curious to
out.
see how they play. Yeah,
Because I have been
I
giving
think.
the edge to the Vancouver Impact mid laner Stunner over Krieger. I think in both games kind of outplayed him.
Yeah,
So that could be where you
he
get an
did play the
advantage.
Oriana game even from behind pretty well.
Yeah, finding impact in team fights with the shockwave. I'll
Yeah,
definitely
I
have
mean,
my
I'd
eyes
love
on
to
that to
see. I think
continue.
it's really going to come down to a jungle battle, and a lot of the onus here is going to be on Vancouver Impact's jungler to see how well he can pilot this Vi and get his team an early game advantage here.
Agreed. Should be fun.
Yep.
Game three. Thanks for joining me on the cast. I think we're kind of
No,
killing it so far.
dude, I know. Dude, I will say you got what's it called now? The not the color caster, the other one.
Play by play.
Play by play. Yeah, your play by play is good.
I've been working on it.
I
It
was
can
just,
be these
I was
fights are
listening.
like
I was listening.
easier because they're a lot more one-sided. When it's close, like I just sometimes just be yelling stuff and
No,
then
but like I can imagine, dude. If I'm trying to do that, I'm just like falling over my words and like biting my tongue perma. So honestly, oh, I mean, they're pinging bot. I guess maybe they're looking for something early here. Both
it
teams seem
looks
to be
like
looking for
it.
something early here.
We've had just standard 5 points across the map, but now maybe a little something more.
I
Maybe
really
a mid
hope
lane
they
stack.
find each other. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would love to see them just find each other somewhere here. I want to see a level one scrap.
See what happens. They're gonna approach from the bot lane, so I doubt they're gonna catch him, full 5v5. But someone like Stunner walking back to the mid lane, maybe they get caught out then.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Mbess is backing. It looks like everyone's backing. Okay, they've all given up on the level ones. That's kind of a shame. I was hoping they would just run through, see what happens.
Give us some action
But
early.
Ari pretty smartly backs here. Doesn't have to worry about walking through any of the enemy champs to get to mid. But I think what's it? Coinflip is blue. Yeah, Coinflip
Yes.
get a good ward onto the blue. I don't think VIP know that they know where Vi is starting here, which is really good for the
This
volatile
is
matchup
interesting
top
out
lane.
of VIP. Sitting in the bot lane, going for this level 1 trade. This is going to be slightly favored for the Yunara. Pops the heal, Ghost popped out of Bori. The orbs are getting thrown onto the Sivir, who is forced to flash out. So 3 summoners burned by the
For
VIP
one.
bottom lane.
Yeah, a
And
3-for-1 trade there. I think just handily in favor of the VIP bot lane.
yeah, so this Yunara is going to be pretty low. And Sivir should be able to wave clear pretty comfortably to help get the push. I'd be interested if Pixel's Vi tries to cheese anything. It looks like Bori, though, is just going to back. Play it safe, not lose. Gonna miss out a lot early though. As VIP, we'll see
Yeah,
what the
I
call
mean
is. You,
that
you
that
got to
is
try to
tough.
hold the wave
Yeah,
here, but I don't know if they
yeah,
fully know. So it's gonna look like a slow push instead. And Sivir will be able to get
yeah.
most of this minions back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing Renata's going to try hold this wave. Probably won't be successful. I mean, yeah, you can't really hold the wave in that situation, but yeah, I mean, advantage for VIP in the early game. What the hell happened top lane?
Wow, some aggressive trading, but no kills. Ignite dropped out of Brandino and flash used from Marco. It is a TP Ignite Ambessa, so really throwing down the gauntlet in lane. Brandino trying
And
not to give over any side lane advantages this time around.
and that's just already an advantage for Brandino because Brandino had the TP, and I guess Renekton TP to lane after that invade. So that invade putting the Renekton behind from kind of like an all-in E trade.
Yeah, maybe we can
Oh,
see
oh,
what
he
happens
TP'd earlier.
here. I guess it was just
I guess he took a bad trade and then TP'd.
a really early all in. Wow,
Oh.
that is crazy. Oh my
You
gosh.
know what? I
I
respect
mean,
that
hell
because
yeah. Like,
you're probably dead if you don't do that.
and you still get the
He
wave.
was not getting to the wave to get level 2, so it was just going to be a level 2 versus level 1. I guess that Ignite really paying off for Brandino.
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly what you want to see out of the Ignite. It's Pixel looking in the top side here. Both these junglers cleared up, both level 4, but Aristotle going for the scuttle first. And Pixel looking for the flashless Brandino, who is going to kite his way down to the jungler. Marco can't quite close the gap for the slice and dice stun. Brandino continuing to dash out, and VIP wisely calling it off.
Yeah, I mean, good play there from Brandino, managing to keep himself safe in the gank situation. I think maybe Vi tries to go in a bit earlier there, because the Renekton has to eat through the wave to even get in range to try and stun. So, but overall, I think Brandino's playing this well, but Renekton does have a bit of a freeze here, and he's going to be able to pull back some of that gold XP he lost early.
Yeah,
I mean, he is up in CS as well, so
Yeah, Marco's starting to bring it back. This Renekton, base damage is early. Is going in for the slice and dice. Heavy trading back and forth. One level down into Brandino. Waiting for one more dash to charge up, but it's not going to come up for the meantime. Looking to close the gap. Marco walking down the river. Going to be able to slice over the wall at the
You
end
know
of
what?
that.
Just keep camera top lane.
Yeah.
Just keep camera top lane.
I'm seeing all these trading, and then directed camera just brings it back down, but
I
health
I
bars
am
are
such a fan
staying
of these guys.
volatile here.
I am such a fan of these guys not giving a fuck and just going for it. But Mbess is gonna have Ignite here very soon, so Renekton does have to be careful.
There it is, but dives too deep. Takes tower shots and it's an execute. Oh no. Kind of a disaster for both sides. Marco living on a sliver of health as well.
And he has to push out this wave, which is really tough. I think the wave's gonna catch and catch just outside Mbess's tower here. Oh, but he has 6, so I mean he can actually just push that wave in. I mean, I guess there as the ambassador, you're hoping to get the Q2, but did he miss the Q2, or did he just not have enough energy to throw it out?
Not sure, but it was right there, and maybe 50 health away from a kill with that ignite. So see the angle. It ended up working out for him, getting executed.
Yeah, I mean, but now he's kind of in a bit of a hole. I mean, he's just down. I mean, he's gonna catch this wave now, but he's just down a fair amount of CS, and Renekton's going back with a bit.
Ooh, ulti on the top side though. Marco, ulti in response. These guys keep duking it out.
Dude, just don't move the camera anyway. Just keep the camera.
I'm trying to give them love. I mean, yeah, these bot laners, they just have Cole. They're just handshaking. I
yeah.
said they would. I said top lane would be volatile.
I mean, is there a point in even looking bot lane, to be honest?
Didn't know it'd be this crazy. Krieger is doing well in the mid lane into the Ahri, getting push. And both these junglers have just been farming it out.
Yeah, I mean, you're at this point now. You're Ahri. You're chilling. You're kind of waiting to get that break point where you can clear backline minions with 1 Q. At this point, I think it's just 2 Qs, or like an auto on each backline minion and a Q clears. I mean, she's just really looking to push and fight in the river with her jungler.
Nice sidestep for Marshall there on the bandage toss.
Yeah.
Gotta give love to the bot lane when we can. Yes.
Yeah.
They were on recall. They're coming back now. We'll be here for it. This is the first kind of. This is where the dam will open and the floodgates will kind of give way. I feel like this top lane. Who can get ahead here?
Just look at the scoreboard. Whenever Ambessa has Ignite, just panic camera top. Nothing's gonna happen.
You don't even need Ignite to go for the scrappiness. We're not going for some objectives. No crazy lane swap here.
They are fighting
over actions we
every
need.
single movement here. He's got a little bit of a level advantage. He's gonna be able to get this wave pushed in.
It is Renekton favored at this point. Has the level, does have, well, I guess a boots advantage with that CS lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think
nicely.
Pickaxe gives slightly more AD. I actually don't know the exact amount. I think it's like 5 extra AD.
Yes, you were dead on.
Am I good, bro? Come on now.
This guy may be the color commentary GOAT.
I might be better than every other color commentary.
Put him in the LCS. He can be number 2 behind Kobe. It's not going to kill his viewership anymore. Or LTA, excuse me.
Wow, dude. Yeah, put this fucking scrub in there, dude. They can't do any worse than it is now.
Pixel going to take the grubs, though. Marshall rotating up just to secure that. So a nice take, and this is a very... I like this over the early Drake, because we've seen how these top laners have scrapped it out. So expecting side lane to be a big factor as this game continues.
Renekton is up around, what, like 15, 14 CS. I mean, he's feeling pretty comfortable. I can't imagine now either of these players getting a solo kill is probably going to just absolutely run the lane afterwards. These guys both seem good enough that they know exactly what they're doing when they get a lead. Good level time of fight there, to be honest. Like, it's really tough here as the ambassador to play back in because if you're down level, it's just a good trade. You get the wave in at the same time. You can look for a back here if you want to, or you can move with your team or like cover mid lane here. I'm guessing he's gonna go just get vision.
A lot of pings coming down. Vi is level 6. Marco trying to close the gap, but the Chaos Field stun does connect onto Vi, so now they're kind of retreating here despite the numbers advantage. GeoPro running on up for the roam. Bot lane still just trading farm back and forth. It is going the way of Bori. But
Is this the longest it's been for a kill in these games so
this
far?
series, yes. I mean, knowing how crazy Midwest gets as well, wouldn't surprise me if it's like for the whole split so far. It's
Yeah, I mean here
definitely
I
a
think the most
slower early
interesting
game.
he's gonna have, yeah, he's just got a slight stats advantage. Um, but they are down a grand total of 400 gold, so you know,
Yeah, I think most of that is in the bottom lane. Yeah, about a 300 gold lead in the bottom lane, 300 in the jungle as well. Aristotle farming it up nicely compared to
yeah.
Pixel. Need to
Are
see
we
this
at that
Vi
point?
get on the map.
Yeah, are we at that point now where we're gonna start cheering for ward kills?
Let's
Or is that like another another 5 minutes, and then we start cheering for ward kills?
let's not. Well, I got another 5 minutes before that. We can
Okay,
manage that.
okay.
Maybe when it's like
I
around Drake's.
yeah.
This is what Atlas and Chronicler feel like, huh? Just sitting, like,
Yeah, but they just like they have a podcast. They don't have to worry about like being the main broadcast, so they can just say whatever they want.
That's true.
Which honestly seems like such a vibe.
It does, doesn't it? It's kind of just casting with your boy, just chilling back. Am I keeping it too
Yeah.
professional now? Arguably. Sweeper comes through. No
Yeah.
ward kills to cheer about for now.
Renekton does have 400 ping, so that might be something that VIP can play off.
Yeah, Aristotle has snuck into the bottom lane here, though. Gets the stun
Oh,
onto
big time.
Koros, who cleanses, flashes out, and dashes out for good measure out of the Renata ult.
I
Great
mean, just a
bot
good
lane
way to get
play
out.
out of Coinflip, and now Aristotle gonna walk into the jungle here, but gonna find Pixel, who's looking
Yeah, and
for
there is
more
no
on
ulti
Aristotle.
on, but Victor has first move. I mean, these are the
Fingers first.
positions where you kind of don't really want to play Victor. It's a good thing that Vi isn't walking up the river right now because you don't want to
Yeah,
be
that,
playing
that
Victor.
could have been a great collapse. I agree. I really want to see Pixel make stuff happen with this seasoned assist, with the Spirit Rush. Like, you got to get together and make stuff happen
Yeah,
before it gets too late.
I think that's what they're going to look for on this Drake now. If Coinflip decide to fight it, I think that's where we can see the game kind of explode a little bit. Because right now, really steady, you know, about a couple minions worth of gold in the favor of Coinflip.
Yep.
But I think what they're trying to, I mean, ideally what you want to do is you're trying to blow the Victor Flash early before the Drake. But even now, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have
I mean,
Renata all
yeah,
down. Oh, fight in the mid lane. His directed camera being a little slow there, but bring it on over. And
that's
there's the
perfect.
Victor Flash. Dragon
That's
spawns,
exactly
but
what
no
you want to
seasoned
do.
assist.
Yeah, so now I think there is a little bit of there's a small timer that Coinflip do have here where Vi and Ari have no ulti. If they can get pushed in bot, they can move for drag. I think that's what they're looking for right now. Uh, really well played off knowing which ultis are up and which ultis are down, and there's a
Ori
fight in the bot lane.
on the hunt is called. Ghost as well. A lot of movement speed on this Sivir, but taking a bunch of damage
Oh,
back. Man, that's going to be an early telltale sign of these 80 carries going blow for blow.
yeah, I think
Uh,
if you're Coinflip now, I think you just look to start the Drake maybe.
yeah, that may
Maybe
be
they're
enough to
worried
push him off as more fighting in the top lane. Marco Pop popping the Dominus, giving chase for a little more, but Brandino looks like he's going to be able to walk that one out. And Aristotle starting the Drake. CLT, welcome back. You didn't miss much. It's just been Samlet and I trying to fill the gaps for a relatively actionless or kill-less 14 minutes. Been full of action. Just
Yeah,
nothing really
another
breaking the
minute.
dam.
Yeah, in another minute we can start cheering for ward kills. So look
That's,
forward to that.
that's what I promised. GeoPro is getting caught by the slow. Koros gets the slow as well, but the ulti
Oh,
to turn it back. No, Marshall
oh,
forced to heal. Great hostile
oh, geez.
takeover. In comes Pickle, forces the flash out of the
Oh
Renata.
my god.
Koros is still
This is
trading it
pretty much an
back.
LCK game right now. It's just like flashes. They don't play on they play in the
It
objective
is.
fights. Maybe something can happen here, but I think Amumu just wants to. Oh, Amumu's fighting by.
Neither team given an inch, but Aristotle maybe a
There's an
bit cut
ulti.
out. Gets the flash, Curse of the Sad Mummy, two-man ulti out of Marshall to
Oh!
kite it back, but it is enough to kill Koros, and with the TP over top from both solo laners of Coinflip, Marshall, no
Uh,
chance in the 5 versus 1. And finally,
I
two
mean,
kills over to Coinflip.
yeah, yeah, not great for a VIP there, but could be worse. You did get the TP out of Mbessa. I mean, that's just one of those things where they're both I mean, at that point, I think they're just thinking that Renekton might TP in or Ahri is closer than she actually is. I don't know why they double TP'd, but they are going to get first turret from what it looks like in the bot lane. And
Exactly
overall,
that.
just like the play for Coinflip.
Yes, maybe a bit overzealous on the TPs. I'm sure the comms were just calling for a TP, and then both doing it, showing the syncness of Coinflip. But point is, that play goes very positive for them. They finally crack open some kills in the bot lane and the tower, crucially. That lets you kind of rotate around the map, get
Yeah,
GeoPro
90.
and Bori involved. And
I
now the
will
scaling
say,
has already started for Coinflip.
this is one of those awkward things about the Coinflip draft, which is Victor now has to go into a side lane, and Victor without flash in a side lane into Ari is a very shaky proposition. You want to be able to farm constantly, and
Action
it's kind
popping
of
up in
hard.
the top side. Down comes the Ignite. Aristotle is first to this play. Marcopa trying to kite it out. Dodges the first bandage toss. Gets the stun. Pops the Dominus. Trying to heal it back up. Slicing, dicing on out. But the Brandino public
Oh, good
execution going to
ult.
be enough to close the gap. Feet of
Yeah, they just stick
Warfare
to
going
farm.
over to Coinflip. They got the first tower, and that's their third kill of the game. Still nothing much on the map for VIP.
Is it too early to call the game in Coinflip's flavor at this point? I
I
mean, remember we were talking about the fact that VIP's draft, they kind of want to be playing from an advantage, and they're 2K behind now, which is really tough to play from with the Viari.
Yeah, and they're not even putting the Victor in the side lane, like you mentioned. That may be a weak point. Victor has Roa too. I'm a big fan of that
Oh
build
yeah.
this game.
Honestly,
Lets you
I'm not.
survive.
I hate the tanky. Oh,
Koros going in for a bit of a fight. On the hunt, traded back, and a flash forward from Bori. He wants some Mori.
oh,
Going in, looking for a double here. Pixel trying to peel, but goes unstoppable
good ult.
and does get caught
Oh
by the
no.
hostile takeover. Bori gonna
Okay.
get gap closed on as Pixel jumping in for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the point where you're just one tapping them as Siva, it might be a tough game.
Just one item as well. I mean, this Siver's kind of the late game insurance, and you're already dominating in the 1 versus 1. Great flash over the Seraphine Charm to help close the gap
Yeah.
and make that happen. Well played out of the bot lane of Coinflip. Said this bot lane is very potent, and Vancouver Impact, they held him down game 1. Games 2 and game 3 here starting to take over. Really the whole side of Coinflip, just advantages everywhere.
Yeah, I
And
mean, they're just playing this really well. They get an advantage. They put the
ooh,
Herald
public
on
execution
mid.
misses. Dominus was popped from Marco. He's looking to close this gap. Has the
He
flash
doesn't want to
up.
flash.
Does he want to use it? Has to burn it
Okay.
there. Gets the shutdown
You could.
onto the Ambessa. So finally some kills in the top lane. Krieger gets caught out by the charm, but tanky enough to live through it on the onset. And with the rest of the Coinflip squad there, that will be it for Stunner's Ari. Other than,
Yeah, I mean,
clearing the wave on the way out.
you can see how tanky that Victor is, but you could also see that Renekton did not want to flash. Unfortunately, he had to, but he did get the kill in the end. I guess he doesn't really want to stay for the turret. Fair enough. He doesn't really know where they are. They might be tracking Ambessa TP to be coming up soon as well, so he's worried about. I mean, they get the tower anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
get
just
the
yapping.
gold though. Like you just gotta hit that once and then back up. Dragon coming up
Yeah.
soon though, so maybe looking for that. Doesn't have TP himself. Can to rotate on down. Like I said, we've talked about the scaling of Coinflip. You're gonna want to throw the gauntlet down if you're VIP before it gets too late. Maybe
Yeah, I
this is
think
the way to
you
do it.
have to fight this. I mean, you're not. Sometimes it feels worse in game. You feel a lot more behind than you actually are. I don't know how they feel at this point, but I definitely think they feel like they're strong enough to fight this, and I would agree. I think this is definitely a dragon that they have to fight, but again, the lack of TPs just means that Victor gets to sit top. He can just TP in when he needs to for the fight, and they could also, uh, they can do the thing that a lot of the LCK teams or a lot of the Asian teams do, which is you don't necessarily fight for the objective, but you posture like you're going to fight for the objective.
Yeah,
You
and
force
it
five
looks like
of
that
them
what
there.
they're doing
Oh,
here is Victor's in the top side. Now
no,
TPing on into the pit. Victor maybe a bit vulnerable here, but in comes the public execution into the bat line, and the dive coming forward from Aristotle, but he's alone. He's going to be the first one to fall. Pixel on the backside, getting traded back from Bori. So 2 for 1 in favor of Coinflip so far. Amumu is down, though, and not enough damage. Stunner flashes forward, forces the flash out of Krieger. Eruption in the
Yeah,
bot lane Drake fight. It honestly looked okay for VIP at first with a Mumu flashing forward very aggressively, but the team fight tools of Coinflip coming out top there.
yeah. There it might be a case of picking Vi and then playing Vi like how you think she should be played instead of kind of adapting into the situation. You're ulting backline instead of maybe ulting the peel. In that case, I think you're probably not strong enough at this point to blow up whatever target you do ulti on as Vi. So I think it's probably worth it now at this point to play Vi more with your backline and just play around the Yunara. I mean, this is just a tough situation to be in if you're VIP. I mean, your comp's not really made to be fighting from a disadvantage, and now you are, and you know, I mean, it's just tough. Like Victor has 2 items. His Roa is about to pop, so he's about to be a level up as well. He's just really tanky. He also just does a lot of damage. Do we know what abilities he has upgraded?
I can take a look at that. I don't know if you can know from the spectator field.
What's the how many stacks does he have? He has 27. I guess it kind of looks like I mean, he has upgraded E, obviously. It kind of looks like he has upgraded Q, I think.
Yeah, but that's all coming online, and despite just the 2K gold lead, I mean, we see how these team fights play out if Coinflip can get that initial pounce, and they're very good at doing that, pulling the trigger. Aristotle jumping in first, public execution over top. And, you know, Stunner and the Vi were later on there. Stunner does Spirit Rush out of the Curse of the Sad Mummy, so and the Chaos Storm.
Yeah. But those are 2 ultis that doesn't really matter. They're gonna come up. There's no objective fight over right now. I do. What do you think about Seraphine in this in this situation getting a Mikhail's? Do you think
I
it's
wouldn't
bad?
mind it. I think it's pretty good. I like Redemption first. It's always going to be reliable for you, but by now, you know, look towards, you know, a Moonstone would be okay as well, but Mikhail's gives you some survivability, especially for your squishier 80 carry into this crazy wombo. But Otacon being
This
started up here, VIP are first
this
to
is
the
a.
play, but Coinflip
I mean, the
is
Amumu is so
pouncing.
far away though.
Yeah, but in comes the hostile takeover. That's going to dissuade there as Koros forced to
Oh,
cleanse. Pixel falling low as well. It's the problem with starting up this Otacon. Redemption dropping on down to heal up. In comes Brandino into the backline. Public execution. Charm on a 2 traded back from Stunner, and Brandino's falling dangerously low. Takeover's not going to be enough. Otacon goes to
oh,
5, jumping on back into the backline. Koros now free to hit as Bori's marching on forward, forced to flash out. Trade of 1-for-1 so far. Top laner for jungler. And Aristotle leading the charge against a Vancouver Impact squad who has to retreat here. Maybe overstepping. Is this a Mumu? Doesn't have the flash, but dodges the charm. And Stunner maybe giving chase. The Spirit Rush has come back up, looking for the reset, but wisely doesn't dash any further. Wow, another crazy fight between these two teams. As Otacon
really good.
steal coming in from Vi. That was a very close one.
Honestly, really good. Um, Really good call there from VIP. I don't know why I didn't notice the Otacon was up, but I guess there was a cost to using a Mumu and Victor ulti top lane, which is that you don't have them for the Otacon fight, and a Mumu is on the other side of the map. So,
Exactly. They
I
show
mean,
on the
really
other
well
side of the
played.
map. Great call. That
Yeah,
takes
I mean,
balls.
just good call. I mean, yeah. I will say I still want to see Pixel not ulti so deep solo. I think his job now should primarily be to be playing with or in line with Renekton and not go any further than Renekton. I think he should be pairing with Renekton to either play as the front line or to peel back, because I think Yunara is strong enough that she can fight through a front line.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's
100%.
also tough. Victor's almost level 16.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
get the angle. The tough part is you really are your only teams engaged. So when you're looking to set up, I see that angle. And for now, Coinflip, though, they have been engaging first. So maybe you play it like that. Once Yunara gets the IE, I think especially all hands in for this 80 carry as kind of your main
yeah.
hope to carry you over the line. Drake spawning in 23. 2 dragons right now on the side of Coinflip as Marshall's going to be pulled in. We'll see if we get some more fighting in this bot lane river. On the hunt popped, and a flash forward from GeoPro, but he's going to catch nothing but Koros on the tail end. In comes Brandino on the dive on the other side. Very aggressive TP in from the Renekton, who's forced out. Now Brandino is in way too deep. Great peeling ulti out of the Vi, but can Marco Pa get out and keep giving his team this numbers advantage? Slicing into
He
the
does have
minion.
ulti. He
icing on
does
out.
have
Yeah,
ulti though.
Dominus is
I
still
think
up, and a lot of cooldowns still up for VIP. They have a 5 versus 4 here if they want to take the Drake. You have this Renekton maybe on a bit of a flank, but caught out by Bori, who's going to give chase. But with no Sivir, maybe you can start up the Otacon, or the Dragon. It's a fight on two fronts, as Marco Claw is going to be able to stay alive for now, and 3 versus 4 on the other side is still going to be enough for Krieger as they pick up the kill onto Pixel. Aristotle looking for more, connects the bandage toss, and Coinflip turn it around. Now they're turning towards the
like
Dragon.
just a little. I mean, you can see what they're going for there, right? They really want to pencil with the Renekton on the other side, but they just kind of looked a little bit disjointed. And when you're losing the 4v3 on the other side of the fight, it just becomes a lot harder to just play the fight because Amumu and Victor still had ultis, and I mean, I guess they're looking for Baron.
It's looking like it. Yeah, like you said, the fight just got a bit segmented. So despite that initial pick on Brandino, who goes way too deep, great use of the Arcane Storm and the Amumu frontline to kill off Pixel. Again, it's not necessarily an overstep, you know. It's tough not to overstep, quote unquote, overstep
Yeah,
in
I
those
mean, it's an
teams.
overstep in the most minimal amounts, right? Like they're really playing kind of these margins on the fights. Um,
Baron and Drake, though, ultimately go over to Coinflip, primed with
yeah.
these large late game objectives to continue to snowball and accelerate themselves in this late game. We see 2 items on the Victor building towards that death cap, IEs on the Sivir. It's looking like a good little toss for Coinflip.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that you're calling them by their names. That's very professional of you.
I feel like I have
Like
to.
the abilities, you know. The dominant.
Brandino, public execution on forward, is going to dash his way onto 2 kills into the bottom lane. Bori going to claim credit for that one. And now
Yeah, they're
Ping's
just gonna
coming
run
down
down
onto the
there.
mid lane. Yeah, that Yunara is the bulk of the carry for VIP. So we'll see if they're able to kind of transition that. They still have Baron, you know, not necessarily great wave clear with just an Ahri. So looking like an
Yeah,
inhib going over to Coinflip.
I mean, they could even maybe look for more here. I mean, I doubt they will, but yeah, it's just maybe a bit of an ill-advised play from the bot lane of VIP to try and wait in a, I guess like a tempo trap. I don't know. Did they get caught out backing, or were they
Yeah,
trying to pick
it
some
looked like
more?
they were looking for a pick in this bottom lane river, but just not quite enough damage between the two of them. And Coinflip playing together ends up getting the pounce with the numbers advantage. Now that should be
Yeah,
what your
I
Vi
mean,
and Ari are doing, but instead, you know, bot
yeah,
lane trying to get some gold back. I can see the angle, but Coinflip shutting off that door, and now gonna
yeah. I
have to
mean,
deal with a Baron for another minute.
one thing you have to say is that both these teams just really know what to do when they have an advantage. You know, like really playing it smart, really playing it just well in general, and just nothing but compliments to both of these teams.
Exactly. Yep. So I was expecting a good matchup out of these two Group A teams. Coinflip looking like, you know, very set to close this one out. May see some more scrapping between the two top laners. That wouldn't
I
surprise me.
mean, I guess we can also look at the point that, like, again, Amumu is 2 levels above Vi. Like, I guess Aristotle's just kind of had Pixel's number these last 2 games. He's just always up on. I mean, that's what you're gonna be as a Amumu, right? You're always gonna be up on farm.
Yeah, but just
But
pressure as well in team fights and,
yeah,
you know, getting his team involved. Marco Pa ticking over to 16, maybe looking for a trade. Both these top laners are pretty tanky by this point now. Doubt anyone's gonna fall to their death, and a 4-man squad of Coinflip is pushing in the top lane. They have this Baron. Hostile takeover just aggressively to build some space to walk up to the tower. We'll see if there's an answer
yeah.
back as Charm onto Aristotle. The chain CC comes on through this. Amumu is going to fall, and in goes Vi to the back line. The Arcane Storm, though, blows up Koros. And Krieger going to be able to free hit here. Forces a flash out. Does Stunner, who is dashing for more. Flash, Spirit Rush forward, gets the kill, gets the reset to get on out. And a kill in the bot lane for Marco. So VIP
Really
are
good base
answering
defense.
back.
Yeah, I mean, really good base defense. I was gonna say that I don't know if VIP want to fight until they can get Yunara to Infinity Edge, but they get a good pick. I mean, Pixel does go a little deep there again, but at that point, it's like it doesn't really
I
matter.
think
You're
that's a
just trying
good
to make
call.
sure the tower doesn't go down. But still, I mean, good play from Stunner there to just really save that turret. Uh, it must be mentioned that Krieger also put in a lot of
He
damage there.
just blew up
Just
the
truck
Yunara.
ulti and just yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah, and I think crucially too, GeoPro using the hostile takeover aggressively there. I don't agree with that call. I think we've seen how effective it can be on the peel, and that's when VIP pounce. You know, they're able to get this Amumu down and open the gates to this dive in the back line from the Vi and
Yeah.
from Stunner. Able to do so with less tools to peel themselves away as Koros may be looking for a pick on a GeoPro who does have the
Oh, they're
flash and the
going
TP
TP.
coming in on the
They're going
backside. Koros walking up
Yunara
way too
realism.
far, trying to flash out, but a flash follow from Aristotle is going to be enough. Flash out from Marshall as well. So now with no AD carry, that's likely to be Soul over to Coinflip. The VIP AD carry stepping pretty far up there and getting punished for it. As Pixel going in for a trade onto Brandino, but Bori popping on the hunt, trading some damage on back. In come the ricochets, in come the boomerang blade. Marco popping the ulti himself. The Dominus coming on through, but the Arcane Storm over top is going to be enough to build space and force VIP out. Krieger marching on forward, has the Cloud Soul, that extra movement speed coming on in, looking to close the gap and close the game out. Pixel with a season desist forward onto Krieger, who does take some tower shots, so
Oh,
does fall down. Great turnaround there, but
and
is it
Yunara's
going to
flipping
be
too.
enough? Stunner's low. Koros is respawned. So VIP trying to hold the line here as Koros dashes forward, gets a beautiful slow on a multi-men. Marco Paw dashing on forward. Koros gets jumped on by Aristotle, and Pixel's falling low. Koros getting caught by another bandage toss.
Oh,
Aristotle keeps finding the angles. But with the kill onto Brandino and Krieger, it will be enough to keep this game alive for now. More
yeah.
crazy action. Game 3's delivering.
They were playing the macro game, and now I guess they've decided they're bored. They just want to scrap a little bit.
They need our dose of fighting. Yeah, I mean, that all
Oh, and
started
it's
with
just enough.
Koros. I think he's just out. Stunner does have
Yeah,
Spirit Rush, so maybe he chases. I
he might just ulti
He
over this.
could.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's giving. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think Koros. I don't know if he didn't see the TP, but there was like a good second or two there where he just kept walking forward after the TP had gone off. Maybe it was a miscommunication. Maybe he didn't see. I don't know, but he just gets picked out. He loses flash as well critically,
Yep.
which is a really good thing to have. And I mean, now you look at the Sivir. Sivir has 4 items to Yunara's 3, and Sivir can just sit behind her entire team. She doesn't really have to worry about Vi because I don't think she's gonna get popped because you got the Renata right next to her. So this Sivir is loving life right now.
Exactly that. Yep. I mean, good play from Pixel too to get the kill on an overstepping Krieger. That was pretty
Oh
nice
yeah,
to
no,
watch,
really
keeping
good.
him under the tower. But an engage coming in from Aristotle. That Sivir, like you said, is popping. Picks up one. Krieger picks up the next. And the gap is being closed. On the hunt was popped. Koros is
Yeah,
going to
that's
take it.
just it.
I mean, Sivir ult plus Cloud Soul. You're able to just run it down at them. GeoPro popping the ult to catch up Marco for a bit. Berserk makes him pop the blast cone. Dominus gets the Q hill onto 5, but it means nothing by this point as coin
You know
flip.
what? I think Pixel holds.
it's
I think
it's
he.
going to be close. Coming down
Yeah,
to the wire here.
that sucks, bro. I didn't want the game to end like that.
That's how it is, though. Coin flip has been in control. Once they finally get that structured team fight, it's all wraps from there. And they take this one in a reverse sweep. Week 2 victory over Vancouver Impact Challengers. Coin flip at the top of Group A, moving themselves to 2-0.
Yeah, I'm just really well played from Coinflip. They knew what they were doing from the minute they got the lead to the minute the Nexus ended. Maybe a little bit of happy gaming in between there, but overall, I think just like really well played from all the members. And I have to say, at least in that game, like special shout out to, I think, in my opinion, I might be biased, Krieger. I think Krieger put on a great performance in the Victor there. He was just always a really strong secondary threat. He was just impossible to kill because he was so tanky. And he just always kind of threatened that Yunara, and like I said before, like it was really tough for Yunara to play those fights because Victor just drops Chaos Storm on her, and then what's she gonna do?
Yep, we talked about how, that mid jungle of Vi and Ari should be trying to get ahead, and Krieger didn't really give any opportunity for that to happen. So, nothing happening in the meantime. But what a series, man. That was pretty back and forth. Game 1 went over to VIP in a bit of shocking fashion, and then Coinflip answering back with just some great skirmishing. Great hands on both sides. I feel like we saw some
Yeah,
good cross map play as well. Both these teams are going to be teams to watch going forward.
yeah. Overall, I think it was a great series. I enjoyed watching that. I just suck that that's how Game 3 ended, but what more can you take? Or what more can you really ask for between these two teams? Just really well played from them both.
Exactly that. So thanks for joining me, Sam Led, on the cast. It was an
Anytime,
absolute
baby.
pleasure. We can do it. We
Anytime I
can
can
do it
hear your
again.
voice, I'm good.
I think you're the one. All the chatters can agree with the nice voice to help kind of carry us over, and it gives me a little break to focus more action on play-by-play, and always appreciate your commentary there. I think we did an
I got
appropriate amount of glazing to let these two
you.
teams watch it back and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, if either of these teams want to Venmo me a 50 for the uh the ASMR glaze, I can put it in the chat.
There you go. All right, man. Well, thank you to both teams. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to Sam Ladd for joining me. That, I believe, concludes our Midwest action for week 2. Be on the lookout for the weekly recap that CLT and Hairwick always deliver. And until then, we will see you sometime next week for some more games. Thanks for tuning in.